Hello, everyone. What's going on? Joelington. Congratulations. You are first.
Yeah, it's like embarrassing. 2.9 thousand views, 513 views, 1.4K views. Yeah.
Okay, but I think I remember reading one of the texts from the transcripts, and I think at one point, I think they were asked to do the whole Tucker Carlson grocery store thing, and then one of the producers for one of the commentary channels was like, "I feel like this is very shilly," and then one of the Russian handlers was like, "Still, we were needed," and then the producer kind of acquiesced.
hmm
Do we know what video that is that Tim Pool or Dave Rubin ended up covering the Tucker Carlson thing?
So that was the Tucker Carlson thing. I don't know if any of the 6 commentators covered that video. I think that was just posted to the Tenant Media social media account, I believe.
Okay. Okay. And when you hear Tim Pool say he doesn't know, is it just because of the money that you feel like he should have known
To be
better?
getting so much fucking money and not question. You're getting paid $400,000 a month. You're getting
When I
paid about
saw 100K per video, I literally jumped out of my seat. That was like Mr. Beast levels of income for sponsorship.
Yeah, and not even just for a video. It was for a video with no call to action, with no product being promoted, without any specific content direction. Like
No.
how? That's for what, a 12-minute video? That's ridiculous. That's
And,
ridiculous. He's not charging those rates. He's not charging 20% of those rates to anybody in the industry for a video like that. Nobody's paying for a video like that. That's insane. Yeah.
no.
By the way,
The only people.
I've
Oh, go ahead.
I've noticed Tim Pool has become more hostile to Ukraine over the past year. Like it sounds to me that if he's getting paid that kind of money and they're not handing him some sort of script with some sort of buzzwords to say or specific topic to cover, like it sounds to me that he was being fed lines that he needed to say, like especially for that kind of money they're giving him.
It's possible, but if that's true, I don't think that's true, because he directly said that that wasn't true in his tweet. And if he directly contradicts that, and he knows how sprawling this investigation is now, and there's evidence to the contrary, oof, that looks really bad.
Well, Tim Pool's an idiot, so it is something you do.
Maybe, sure, but that would be really dumb. Yeah.
Just to come back to the money, it is so ungodly to think about how much that is, because I can tell, like, just for the viewer so they can understand. Imagine a viewer averaging about 1 million views per video. If they're doing advertisement and they're just doing some run-of-the-mill advertisement where their channel's not necessarily connected to the product itself, but think of Surfshark, think of Manscaped. They'll advertise on anything, irrespective of whether it's geared towards men or tech bros. You're looking at anywhere from 8,000 USD to maybe 12,000 if you're lucky. Now, some channels are a little bit more highly specified, so think of Marquise Brownlee. Now, if he's averaging 1 million views per video and he's doing tech-related stuff and he gets a tech sponsorship, you could see him going up to 30,000, maybe 45,000 for some of his sponsors if he was to take one. Why? Because it's like a target audience or finance bros.
These are for million-plus views videos.
Million plus.
Not for
Right.
1K or 3K views on a video.
Right, so getting
These are for
100K per
actual
video
products,
is insane for videos that are not performing well. This is outperforming the market by like 10x, 100x in terms of like the actual viewership.
Mhm.
And the fact that the money kept coming in, I know for me, if I was offered this kind of money, I would be asking why they're paying me so much more, like 20 times more than anyone's ever paid me. So I'd be asking questions like, where is this money coming from? Is it legal? But I think as a political commentary channel who's being asked to do politically inclined content on behalf of like one party or one group, I think you have to be extra suspicious.
1,000,000,000,000%. Like if this was a deal from Rumble, I'd be a little bit more like, okay, maybe they got. I think they're publicly traded. You got a lot of investors. Sure, maybe for Rumble, I'd be like, okay. But Tenet Media, literally, you're like you're the face of this channel, right? There are 6 content creators brought on, and I think the most well known were like you, Dave, and Benny and Lauren. Like but you are inarguably you're the largest face on this channel. I thought it was initially a Tim Pool funded media channel. That's what I thought initially when it was first announced, because he's obviously the largest face that's being used to promote this. And for him to not even question where that money is coming from is
Well, again,
negligent.
I just don't believe I don't believe he didn't question it because his producer was questioning it.
Yeah.
Well, not questioning it, but questioning like the kind of content. Like, even the producer was being fed sometimes like this feels very shilly. There's no way as a producer you don't get told these kinds of things and you don't discuss it with the person you're working for. That's just not a thing that happens. If I was telling someone to work with a company and they're saying this, they're coming back to me. Any advertisement deal, any kind of production deal, I'm not just a mouthpiece, right? And Tim Pool takes pride in the fact that he does a lot of their own research, or he looks and he reads over this stuff with his producers.
Investigative
There's
journalist,
no way
yeah.
these conversations didn't happen behind the channels. That's
Well-
not. You're talking about the highest level of like I closed my eyes when a bag of money was offered to me. That just doesn't seem plausible.
Well, we know Tim Pool's a massive grifter. So yeah, in all likelihood, he probably knew something fishy was going on, but didn't really care because the money was so good. Went with it. Figured if anything happens, he can just, act dumb.
Maybe actually, yeah. I mean, it might be enough for them to never actually question it. They know it's probably corrupt, but like, why question it and ruin your fucking money bag, right?
You don't think they questioned it at all? Somebody's
No,
offering-
Oh no,
I'm
they
saying-
did.
Like, no. Like, in terms of when I say not question, I mean, they're like, yeah, maybe it is coming from bad sources, but who the fuck cares? I'm getting paid bank, and then that's it. You just don't ever say anything else about it, right?
Okay, actually, I'm curious. Would you not be worried? Like, I know I would be if I was doing political commentary and some entity that's not entirely clear is offering me hundreds of thousands. I would be like, is this illegal? That would be.
Well,
something that would cross
you
my
have
mind.
Oh, I
moral
worried about my
standards.
contract for that. Yeah, I was like, fuck, I don't know. Man, this seems like a lot of money. I'm not sure sometimes. I kind of wonder. Yeah, I was worried about if I was approached by, like, if Progressive Victory was coming to me like, hey, Dustin, we want you to promote this shit. We're going to pay you $100,000 a month instead of, that's like, yeah, it should set off so many alarm bells in your head, especially when it's a political company. Yeah, it's a political company headed by a political person that no offense, is not that wealthy. Okay, Lauren Chen is not that successful. The Blaze doesn't pay that well. Okay, but you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drop $500,000 on you every month. It's absurd. It's so stupid.
Well, they have again.
In the best case scenario, all of your credibility is gone in terms of being able to critically analyze anything. Why would I trust this guy to be able to find any type of conspiracy ever if it was literally you were part of it? You were like, it would be less embarrassing for him to say that he was compromised and he knew it, rather than for him to be like, oh, I had no idea. I was a useful dipshit the entire time. Like, how could you be so stupid?
And I think we have to stop attributing everything to incompetence or to all this like, just like, what do you call it? Weaponized incompetence? Who's? I feel like you're the one who taught me that. Was that you?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
This is what it feels like. People are
Yeah.
weaponizing incompetence once again. I'm sorry. This is some of the highest levels of retardation for people who consider themselves very politically active and in the know, and also conspiracy brained. Like, they will take apart everything to fit their narrative, but then a bag of money is offered to them and they didn't question nothing.
Insane.
I'm sorry. You're selling me a bridge.
I want you to know this. In 1 year, this company paid out, to 3 content creators in 1 year, to Dave Rubin, Tim Pool, and Benny Johnson, about as much money as Hunter Biden made working for Burisma for 5 years. Okay, in 1 year, they got this much money. Like, how can you talk about any conspiracy ever? This is the most obvious shit in the universe. And yeah, you're right. Conservatives do this thing where they'll sit in a room, they'll watch a girl and a guy go into the other room, and they'll hear her screaming for 30 minutes and then come back out like bloodied and bruised. And you'll be like, bro, did that guy just beat the shit out of her? And the conservatives will look you in the eye, dead in the eye, into the ovals of your soul. They will look into you and they will say, I didn't actually see it happen. Did you? How can you improve that? Like, why would you assume that? Do you even fucking know? Like, they're the most shameless bad faith people need it. They're shameless.
And they always go through the trouble of like connecting the dots. Well, Hillary was here at this time of day, and at the same time, Epstein's plane was here. So I'm not saying, but we could infer, right? They constantly make these inferences that people are always operating under this. But all of a sudden, when they're literally offered hundreds of $1,000s that are unreasonable for what they're doing, they want you to say, well, do you have any proof? Do you have like direct proof that he said he took? I don't know. To me,
they're
just
political
beyond the double
ideologues.
standard, they can look at everything as critically as they want through their biased lens. But the moment it's their own like actions under the microscope, all of a sudden they're retards. It's just too much for me.
Like, And it's so easy. Just like imagine it on the other end. Like imagine if I'm involved. Imagine we find out that Progressive Victory was paying me $50,000. I'm sorry, we'll say $500,000. I guess that's what this is worth. $500,000 a month. And then you found out that Progressive Victory was actually funded by fucking Israel or by some Jewish org. Mike, it would be over for me, bro. Like that would be like you're getting paid that much money and it was funded by Israel and you had all these talking points. Like what? Like it would be over. It'd be over. It'd be over. Yeah.
And I'd be making a video about it the next day if I found out Destiny was taking money from an organization that was funded by APAC and he was being paid per video some absurd amount. 1,000%. I'm like, Destiny's definitely shilling, without question. Because how aggressively he talks about this stuff and how he's been. If I found out you were any way being paid, I would 100% publicly say you are definitely shilling.
Well,
so the fact that these guys can turn around and try to use that to shield, no.
Yeah, they're clearly lying. Like again, it's in the transcript. Like their producer was talking about how this is a little too shilly and it's making me feel uncomfortable. Like I mean I've noticed this too. Like you can see Tim Pool's stance on Russia Ukraine change a little bit, and it's gotten more towards literally claiming Ukraine is an enemy of the United States versus what he was saying before that, well, Russia isn't that bad, and since they're not that bad, we shouldn't get involved. Like, clearly he's being fed lines. Clearly.
Yeah. And I liked his tweet where he's like, guys, this show is just the culture wars, and we deal with very unpolitical subjects like spirituality in video games. And I'm like, bro, kill yourself. Oh, my God.
Yeah, the guy who complains about fucking Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
You know, I got offered a sponsorship deal by this, I think it was like a credit card company, or no, it's like a debit card thing that also helps your credit, okay? And they were offering like a crazy amount. I just did my Google searches on them, and like I'd see like other YouTubers that sponsored them, and I was just like looking into this stuff, and just some about it just seemed off. They kind of popped out of nowhere. They're kind of new, and sure enough, within a year, they ended up being defunct because what they were doing was essentially illegal. But it was one of those things where the money was really good for a company that didn't have much of a reputation. The sensible thing is just like, where's this coming from? Is this legitimate? You look into it. Now, if I was doing sponsored content where the entirety of the video had to be about a specific topic, that means that they're sending in a script with overlaying ideas. My producer has to overlook that and then bring it to me, and then we have to have a production meeting. And then you guys have to have a discussion about the fact that you're getting paid $100,000 for this shitbag video. The last 5 you did for this company didn't perform that well or didn't even get a return on investment at all. It's just hard for me to imagine you're sitting there in that production company. You guys are having these meetings.
What I'm curious. I wonder if anybody else in his company knew how much money he was getting paid for that. Like, do you think they paid their fucking? Do you think their guests knew? Wait,
they know. They know. No, there's plenty of them who know.
Not the guest, because I think I was a guest on this stupid fucking Culture Wars. That was the show that I went on, wasn't it? Was it the
no,
Culture
not the
Wars
guest,
one?
not the guest, not the guest. No.
It was. This was the one that I went on. He got paid $100,000. I made $100,000 for Tim Pool in this fucking episode. Fuck me. This is such bullshit. Yeah, and there's no. Yeah, I wonder. No. I'm sorry. When I said the other people, I meant the other people in his company. Because do you think they would have wanted a slice of that? I wonder if he just like pocketed a lot of that money on his own.
No. They know the amounts that are being paid. The reason why I know they know is because when they're going through these contracts, it's going through associations. Tim Pool has assistants. The assistants see the contracts. The assistants see the invoices. They're forwarding it. Tim Pool's not getting everything directly and handling all the back end. You just don't at that level when you're having this much.
I bet he does. Unless he's a total dipshit, I bet he manages a lot of it.
You know what?
Didn't he have a producer that was the middleman talking to these people?
No. The producers in the indictment, I believe, were producers who were brought on by the two founders, Lauren Chen and her husband. I don't think they were hired by Tim's people. They were other people that were brought on to work for Tenet. But they're not like, I don't think these are Russians. They're quote unquote victims of the scam. But yeah, I don't think those were Tim's people. Yeah. Okay. I want to hear statements by Tim's coworkers like that, the crazy dudes. I want to know if any of them knew how much money his company was bringing in from this Tenet deal. I'm so curious.
And again, speaking of the money, like I've been offered some ridiculous deals. Like I remember, like the most stupid one. Somebody said I could make like $200,000 in 3 months with this like weird food charity thing, and like. I just knew it was bullshit. Like, the guy was just clearly fucking lying, and he was trying to basically scam me into promoting some shitty cereal company he had. Like,
okay, but I think you're being uncharitable because the idea is not that they're coming to you. Imagine if Destiny came to you and then he offered you the deal? Because I think Tim Pool got offered this through Lauren Chen.
Okay,
So
that makes more
if there's a
sense.
level of trust there,
Right. Yeah,
then
that
I
makes
think
more
if I'm being
sense.
charitable to Tim, then I could understand a little bit more. But even then, it's
That's
just
still
too
weird.
much money. You
That's
should know
still
the
weird.
metrics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, actually, let me ask you about Lauren Chen because as a fellow Montrealer, finding out she's a Russian asset's fascinating. What do you think about her involvement in all this?
She knew the whole time. She was directly involved. She's like probably already arrested, would be my guess.
She's arrested?
That would be my guess, yeah.
Okay,
She would have had
two
to have
people,
known.
the two people that are indicted under this thing
Are the two Russians, yep.
Okay, but those are not Lauren Chen, but you think it's like a secret indictment kind of thing?
Yeah, this indictment was secret. That's why this was a sealed indictment. It was unsealed. My guess is the other two are probably already arrested, Lauren and her husband. Because in this indictment, it lays out, mens rea, it lays out like criminal intent for Lauren Chen and her husband. Like when it talks about her Googling,
Yeah.
like when she asks one of the Russians, well, first of all, when her and her husband talk about getting paid, they call them the Russians over and over again. And then it also, there's a time where she's talking to somebody. She asks her something. Okay. Today marks 2 weeks since I submitted the invoice for August. Any idea for the delay? We're signing the large contracts and need to be certain we will get the funding to pay these people. When the persona didn't respond, Lauren Chen, she Googled the current time in Moscow because she knew. Yeah, like fuck. They're like this right here. The only reason they have this is like, in my opinion, is laying out mens rea for her and probably her husband that they knew the entire time. And a lot of this sealed indictment includes that. So my guess is there's indictments on the way for them if they're not already arrested. That's my guess. I could be wrong, but
There has to be. There's just no possible way.
Wait, but they're Canadian. Are they even going to fall under the DOJ's scope?
Yeah, they would.
the criminal behavior, well, one, she has a company in Tennessee that she was routing most of the money through for Tenet Media, and two, a lot of the money laundering, because a lot of these transactions were mislabeled. It was wire fraud, basically, coming in through New York, a bank in New York. So then the only question is, would Canada extradite, or would Canada do
they would.
They would.
charges?
They would actually.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if they could be charged.
Yeah.
I'm not terribly familiar with Lauren Chen's whole political view. Is she like a crazy wacko fascist? Or
Basically, yeah.
Okay, she is. I only debated her once on veganism, and she said that she couldn't get vitamin Naruto if she went vegan.
I don't know what that means. I feel like that's an anime,
Yeah.
but
This all makes perfect sense now because I always thought, based off of the kind of content that a lot of conservative creators were putting out there, there's no way they could afford the lifestyle that they were living. But now I'm just starting to believe. Now I'm just starting to believe that they're all a lot of them are being paid off and paid off in huge amounts. This is actually making everything clear because you hear the rumors, a Destiny's paid off by this or these people are paid off by that.
Well,
but a lot of them, their numbers don't even match the kind of lifestyle that they're living.
Isn't
now
that how
I'm
Daily
like,
Wire?
how are you buying a house when you're like raking in maybe like 1 million views per month at most? Like I know what kind of money you're taking home from that, and I know you don't have the kind of subscription deals that you're like portraying. So now that I'm learning, I'm like, that's how you own 2 homes. Okay, this is like, it's starting to come together.
Yeah.
Well, even the Daily Wire, don't they get like funding from billionaire fracking industry jackasses? Like,
I don't know how much external funding they get, but the Daily Wire legitimately does a fuck ton. The Daily Wire should be all legit. They get so much money in subscription.
I'm not saying, I'm not saying that they're just totally funded by, just random billionaires or political, organizations. I know now they've gotten really huge, but I'm pretty sure before they were actually getting a pretty significant amount of funding just from a few weird conservative groups and from some like oil people.
Oh,
I don't know. No clue about that. But
okay, Destiny, I want to get you on the record.
Uh-oh.
Would you ever accept money to do political content on a political entity? Could be the Conservative Party or whatever. Would you accept money to make that kind of content, even if it aligned with your values?
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with accepting money for it. You just have to like declare it.
Yeah.
Like that's the big issue here, right? Like when I'm doing work with Progressive Victory, even though I've never been paid by them, like it's pretty obvious that I'm doing work that's in line with, what they want. And it's just like a Progressive Victory event. The issue is just when you're not disclosing. That's a huge, huge, huge issue. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
like, would I ever
if
take money and not disclose? I mean, like, I'm sure there's some theoretical. If the fucking Mossad came to me with like $1 billion, I would hope, but principally I would say no. But realistically, no, I love my country. Fuck that.
yeah, like I'm very pro-Israel. If the Israeli government came to me and said, "Here's like hundreds of thousands of dollars to, I don't know, promote some idea," as long as it aligns with my values, I would take the money. But I'd also disclose that, what I'm doing has been funded by like Israel.
What would you say to the critics that would then look at you and say, "Well, how can we really trust your judgment or your take on any of this, considering you're being financed by the very entity that you are now defending publicly?"
Yeah,
Wouldn't that just, like you'd be getting paid, but wouldn't that be a hurt to your kind of credibility?
yeah, so I don't think it necessarily would be because one, I disclosed that I'm getting funded. I'm not hiding it. I'm admitting to it. And I think I've built up a reputation so far where people know that I'll only accept these sorts of transactions if it already aligns with my values. So it's not like I'm being bought and paid for to say this. It's that I would have said this anyway, but this company wants to work with me and give me money to spread the message further.
Okay. What about you, Destiny? Do you think it would hurt people's ability to take your bias out of it?
This would super depend on what this was for, right? Like, I don't know if I would ever take broad political money just because it probably wouldn't be worth it for even the perceived hit for my credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, let's say there was a company that wanted to donate, some pro affirmative action company that wanted to donate to do like an event to, I don't even know, to do some social outreach that I was going to go to an event for to promote or something. Like, I would probably be open about that. I wouldn't care about that.
Yeah. Okay.
But, like, all these
I think I see the difference between
already
those two
accused me of being like funded by the Mossad anyway. Also, by the way, over the past month, I kept saying over and over again, listen, if any other content creator like Candace Owens wants to have a full disclosure of all of our income sources to a third party and have those published online, I would do that 100%. I would do that with any of these fucking guys. But there's a reason none of them would ever agree to do that ever. But yeah.
Whoa, oh, do you think they're being paid?
Or they're getting money from sources in percentages that they don't want people to know about. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all for my questions. I appreciate you, boss.
All right. I'll let you be careful.
Oh, wait. Actually, before I leave, what do you think the final outcome is going to be for the likes of Tim Pool and them? I know you think Lauren Chen and them are going to jail, probably, but what about the rest?
Almost no impact. Conservatives have no values and no principles and no standards.
No, I'm not talking about the political impact. I'm actually talking about their livelihood. Do you actually think like there's a potential secret indictments coming towards Tim Pool and the others?
The language of these indictments makes it pretty clear, at least in the indictment so far, that none of the commenters are implicated. And I don't have any reason to believe right now that they are. But that could change. Who knows?
When you say implicated, what do you mean?
Implicated in criminal behavior. They're described essentially as victims in this. And
so Tim Pool was right. He was a victim.
That's how it's described, yes. So, for instance, in paragraph 4, Kalashnikov and Afanasyev, I can't pronounce these names, Founder 1 and Founder 2, which is Lauren Chen, and Liam Donovan, that's Lauren Chen and her husband, also worked together to deceive two U.S. online commentators, Commentator 1 and 2, who respectively have, so many YouTube subscribers. Commentator 1 and Commentator 2 are Dave Rubin and Tim Pool. So that's what the language of the indictment makes it sound.
Just to be clear, you can be a victim of a crime and be part of a crime and still get convicted. So that's only the outline of this indictment.
Yeah,
so
that's why I'm just saying that
yeah,
for the language of this indictment, there could be something different that changes it, but that's what it says, yeah.
So it is still very possible that they could just dig into Tim Pool and then discover that he knew about the shit and was complicit in it.
Possibly, yeah. But, yeah.
All right, then. That's all from me, boys.
Okay. Have fun. Be careful.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you real quick about that stupid Lex Friedman interview with Donald Trump.
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, this is kind of typical of Lex Friedman. He's kind of a boring idiot who asks stupid questions, and when his guests give stupid answers, he gives absolutely no pushback. So, and I think that was probably the worst interview he's ever done in respect to that kind of behavior. Like, at the beginning of the interview, Trump was talking about how the election was fucking rigged. He was talking about the negotiation with Ukraine ending the war. And then Lex doesn't go over doesn't point out that, no, the election wasn't stolen. Like, you still believe that stupid shit? Or, like, are you actually going to give territory to Russia? None of that. And that was, like, the entire interview. And he asked just stupid fucking random questions that had, like, nobody's interested in. I can't stand the guy. I don't understand how anybody watches a stupid podcast. It's just absolutely worthless.
Yeah, the interview was pretty disappointing. I don't disagree. Yeah, and there was no
Well,
pushback or substantive
Well,
debate on anything.
I would say Lex Friedman's entire fucking channel is absolutely worthless. Like, at least Joe Rogan, like, stupid shit happens on Joe Rogan. But I mean, at least the guy, when he notices he gets a weird answer or disagrees, will give some kind of pushback. Lex Friedman, you can say the most ridiculous fucking shit ever. You could say, did you know the Holocaust never happened? And Lex Friedman would be like, oh, that's interesting that you have that opinion. So, like, what do you think of this other thing? That's all he fucking does. He is worthless.
Yeah, his interviews are something else. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
dude,
disagree.
his debates suck too. Like, when you were on his podcast for the debate with Ben Shapiro, worst fucking moderator of all time. Gives you like 5 minutes to speak on incredibly complex topics, and you're only allowed to respond to the person once until you move on to the next. Like, fuck him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was. Yeah, it's pretty bad for challenging pushback. I'm not going to disagree. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I think he deliberately does this, by the way, because he's a fucking scumbag, and he just wants to get in as many guests, high-profile guests, as he can. So if he develops a reputation on the platform for being this hard-hitting journalist who asks tough questions, he's never going to get anybody on like Elon Musk. So he deliberately does this horse shit just so that he can get on bigger guests. But it's so perplexing still, because who the fuck would watch this shit? I don't
Yeah, but I
understand.
think that's the issue with trying to make these connections, right? Because for a long time, well, not for a long time, but for a decent amount of time, like, this is how I was able to reach out and talk to like Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson. And I realize this now, that there are so many areas that you can't touch. You just have to be willing to play ball. And Lex is willing to play ball, I guess, a lot more than I am. And other people are willing to play ball less than me. And they don't talk to anybody. So yeah, it's just very frustrating. The media, all of the media environments are very isolated from each other. And that's an intentional thing. There's a reason why Ben Shapiro and Stephen Crowder will never debate anybody ever on a serious topic that breaches like an area that they don't want to talk about. Like, these people are very intentional with who they confront.
Yeah, because they'll look like fucking morons, and then their audience is gonna leave them.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, have fun with the rest of your day, dude.
Oh, thanks a lot. Have fun. Be careful.
Take care.
How would you counter this? This guy saying not needing gun laws because people would have guns anyway is like not having any laws because people would still murder you anyway. Tried to show you last night, but you ended lane.
That analogy doesn't make perfect sense. Because on one hand, you're talking about regulating a product, and on the other hand, you're talking about decriminalizing or legalizing an actual criminal activity. In and of itself, having a gun doesn't violate anybody's rights. A gun can't hurt anybody. A gun can't kill anyone. It's the user of the gun who actually has to break the law. So it doesn't logically follow that if you allow people to have complete access to firearms, you would see an increase in firearms violence. It does logically follow that if you were to make a criminal activity no longer a criminal activity, that more people would do it because there's no consequence for doing it. But let me see what he has to say.
Just watched a Republican screaming, like to the point where his veins were sticking out of his neck, about how we don't need gun control because people are just going to get guns illegally anyway. The gun control is not necessary. So my question, I have several questions. Does that, like, people are just going to get abortions anyway. Why do you need to legislate to control women's bodies? People are going to run red lights anyway. Why do we need red lights?
So again, he's conflating two different things. One is control of a product, which is not in and of itself an actual crime. The other is decriminalizing something that is currently a crime. So you can't compare these two things.
Seriously, like, people are going to commit murder anyway. Why do we need laws against murder? They're just going to do it anyway.
Owning a gun is not the same thing as committing murder. This is a complete conflation.
Might as well just, you don't need the laws. I mean, this is not like a fallacy, a logical fallacy. Like, I completely understand that there are some nonsensical laws, right? Like, I think it's here in Kennesaw, there is literally still a law on the books that every family is, by law, supposed to own a firearm. It's an archaic law, but that's no longer really enforced, but it's literally a law on the books here in Kennesaw. So, like, I get that. But at the same time, there are still laws in place that set guidelines like this, this is a safe thing. This is the safety point. Beyond that, not safe. So I'm confused why that logic applies to gun control. We don't need it because people are going to do it illegally anyway. Why doesn't it apply to anything else? We don't need traffic lights. People are just going to run them. We don't need any stop signs.
So again, the point with saying there's not really any need for gun control is it is a fact that people get guns anyway. There's regulations with what age you need to be to own a firearm. You have to get a background check. You can't have a criminal record, especially felonies. You can see literally 10-year-old kids in Chicago walking around with full auto Glocks. Especially now with the advent of 3D printing, and it's extremely easy now to actually make viable 3D printed firearms. The idea of gun control is very quickly becoming completely and utterly irrelevant. If any criminal, if interested, can get access to a firearm, does it make a ton of sense to, restrict access? By the way, what's funny is he talks about hypocrisy. This is the whole argument in favor of legalizing drugs. There's this interest in legalizing drugs because people will do it anyway. And if you allow a illicit market to exist, you're just going to encourage organized crime, which is going to lead to more violence. And that's exactly what you see with the black market for firearms. So would you rather have an illicit market for firearms, and technically you don't even really need an illicit market anymore? You can just 3D print firearms. Or would you rather it not be controlled by an illicit market and be able to at least track who is and is not in possession of a firearm? So, but again, like, the point, I think the main point these people are trying to make is being in possession of a firearm shouldn't be considered a crime. What should be considered a crime is whether or not you commit a crime with the firearm. So who cares who's walking around with a gun? Like, we only care about who is committing a crime with the gun. Whereas, like, again, legalizing murder, legalizing going through a stop sign, it's completely different because that in and of itself is a crime that harms people. So if you legalize that, there's no longer any consequence. But if you completely legalize firearms for everybody, they're not necessarily committing a crime with a gun. They're just in possession of a gun. They would still get criminally charged if they commit illegal activity with a firearm. Jaquavius Cumberdale donated $2 videos with no views.
This is Daniel DVD Club, and yes, today I'm going to start a review of this now. This is called Chocolate. Parents, you know. Pans AU chocolate croissant. Yeah, really cool. So comment down below which kind of chocolate bar your favorite. Yeah, all these got all of chocolate in it. It's really cool and really yummy. Fiona O'Leary got them in Aldi value. She always calls it. Don't tell her that. Really cool. And this is called Coke. Yeah, this is a last day Coke video as well. I'm doing, and a chocolate as well. All that. Yeah, and yeah.
All right, that was nice.
So apparently the voice actor who played Yamcha, apparently he did something pretty terrible and he regrets it, and I believe that he is fired from the Toei staff. Apparently he had a girlfriend who was actually a Yamcha fangirl, and they were with each other for the past, I think it was like 4 years or something. Please tell me in the comments. And unfortunately, he slapped her over an argument. And by the way, the voice actor, the Japanese voice actor who played Yamcha passed away. I mean, not passed away. Is like in his he's like 70 years old. And the girlfriend is like in her 30s. That's kind of weird and kind of creepy as fuck.
That is weird. What the fuck?
Yeah. So, and then he told her to give a miscarriage, you know. Basically, he wanted to tell his girlfriend to have an abortion. Yeah, I'm actually shocked. Of course, that I don't talk about these things on.
Dude, what the fuck does he even care? He's 70. He's like only gonna live for another 10 years. Like
My channel, but yeah, because it's political and etc. And
well, I didn't know about that.
This robot made by Boston Dynamics. It's an interesting robot. Really reminds me of sci-fi movies. What do you guys think about this robot?
Why do people upload these garbage fucking videos, dude?
Very beautiful, in my opinion. It's not just like iPhone or Samsung.
Jesus. These are bad.
And I, Ezra, saw on Mount Zion a great crowd, which I couldn't number. They were all praising the Lord together with songs. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of high stature, taller than the rest.
Yeah, I heard Al Pacino's having a child with his girlfriend when he was 83. That's just fucking whack.
And upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, at which I marveled greatly. So I asked an angel, "Who are these people?" And the angel answered me, These are the ones who took off the mortal garment and put
Okay, that one's a little boring. Thanks for the donation, though, Jaquavius. All right. So there is an interesting update in the whole Turkesterone scandal. There is an actual study published on Turkesterone on humans.
A new study now, finally, for the first time ever, University of Florida did a study on Turkesterone in human beings. Based on the current investigation, there is no evidence that Turkesterone supplementation improves body composition.
Lie down, lie down. No, lie down.
Turkesterone has long been controversial since the first day it came out. From when Turkesterone was sold by not just Derek, Greg Doucette, a bunch of other supplement companies, it was sold to thousands and thousands, if not millions of people. And then it came out that it wasn't dosed properly, there wasn't as much Turkesterone in each caplet as it was supposed to be. People were pissed off, a lot of heat came up on everybody. So since then, it's always been controversial. Not just because of that issue, but because does it even work? We've always been asking, does this shit even do anything to anybody, right? And later on, I know that Greg, well, first I want to say, this is
Do you have any general advice for high-functioning autism?
not a show.
Yeah, try not to do autism too hard. Greg Doucette, still coping, says they didn't test his Turkesterone in his works. Yeah, I saw his comment. So Greg commented on this video, I can't wait to record a video on this tomorrow morning and show everyone how they used fake Turkesterone, and we even spoke to the people doing the test, which verify that it's not even Turkesterone. Nice try, though, but if you're not using my Turk builder from Uzbekistan rather than China, then all you're doing is testing somebody else's product to try and improve that mine, which is legit, doesn't work. I think he meant to say to try and prove that mine doesn't work. So a few issues here. One, Greg himself is the one who said his original Turkesterone product, which had no Turkesterone in it, still worked. He still, by the way, sells Ecti Builder. So if they're testing some sort of Turkesterone supplement that isn't actually Turkesterone, but it's similar to his Ecti Builder supplement, that at least verifies that Greg's Ecti Builder supplement is fucking bullshit. Secondly, just because this study didn't use Greg's supplement, that doesn't mean Greg's supplement works. So he's just completely and utterly full of shit, dude. I'm probably going to make a video on this and just explain why Greg is just a fucking asshole.
Shot at Greg Doucette, Derek for More Plates, More Dates, and anybody else, and a lot of different companies sell Turkesterone now. So this is not a shot at them. Back what I was saying, you guys remember Greg went to Borat's enemy's land, Uzbekistan, and supposedly he found real Turkesterone. And according to him, it works very well. The people who have bought it claimed it works very well. And up until now, all the evidence we've seen has been anecdotal evidence based upon experiences and studies that were on insects, ants, roaches, spiders, whatever other insects you want to put on there, right? But no studies were done in human beings, except for what people are saying. So now, University of Florida, okay, and I want to give a shout out to Mark Lobliner, because I saw his video this morning is how I found out about this. I think he has a new channel now. I'm going to put a link in my description if you haven't seen it. So thanks to him, I've seen this. A new study now, finally, for the first time ever, University of
Elias donated $2. Imagine you are the biggest religious authority in Judaism and say shit like that. I think this link you gave me is broken. It's not loading. Yeah, it just refuses to load. Still not loading. This shit is playing into the hands of anti-Semites. Yeah, I have no idea what it is. It's... the link you gave me is broken. Thanks for the donation, though, Elias.
Florida did a study on turkesterone in human beings. So, going back on what I was saying, okay, all the people that were selling this.
Let me see. What's the paper name? Fuck. I don't know what the fuck that is. This isn't the full
Whose
paper.
click did you lick to get Space Marine too early? You didn't. Pre-order, did you?
Yes, I pre-ordered. Thanks for the donation, though. Forgot my namification. Appreciate it. God damn it. Elias Stony Tellers, look at hashtag controversial statements, hashtag Gentiles. Iraq-born Talmudic scholar. Is this one of those weird Jews who are part of like a really rare cult within Judaism? Wait.
Which Astartes chapter are you going to LARP as? Are you a Blueberry Boy Scout?
I'm not sure. I don't know enough about the Warhammer lore, so I'm not sure. Thanks for the donation, though. Forgot my namification. I don't know what Kabbalah is. I have no idea what the fuck that shit is. Ethiopian Jews, often regarded as the pivotal force behind bringing Ethiopian Jews to Israel. Halakikali? I've never heard of that fucking word. Halakikali? Halakha? Translated as Jewish law, although a more literal transmission might be the way to behave. Ambivalent view towards Zionism as Achalta de Guela, beginning of the redemption. Many religious Zionists, in contrast, view Israel as the first flowering of the redemption. Where am I supposed to be looking? Like, what? Why do I care about this person? Whatever. Thanks for the donation, Elias. Let's see. I can only get access to the abstract. Has been suggested that supplementation with turkesterone, type of steroid, may have anabolic properties that promote improvement in body composition. Thus, the purpose of this investigation was to determine 4 weeks of turkesterone, 500 milligram daily dose supplementation affected body composition, male and females. 31 active males and females volunteered for the investigation. Research participants were assessed pre and 4 weeks post for body composition. After pre-testing, they were randomized into a placebo, rice flour, or treatment group, 500 milligrams per day of turkesterone, ajuga extract. Finn, stop doing that. Subjects were instructed to maintain the same diet and exercise habits during the study. Delta scores of the treatment and placebo groups were compared using an independent samples t-test. There were no between-group differences at baseline for age, height, or body mass. There were no between-group differences in the delta score between the turkesterone and placebo groups and body mass, lean body mass, fat mass, or percentage body fat. Delta score, mean, plus minus standard deviation, body mass kilograms treatment. Negative 0.4. So plus or minus 1.8. They lost body mass compared to placebo. It's not statistically significant, but lean body mass, kilograms, treatment, negative 0.6. Placebo, negative 0.3. Fat mass, kilograms, treatment, 0.1. Placebo, 0.5. Percent fat, treatment, 0.3. Placebo, 0.7. 4-week supplementation with 500 milligrams of turkesterone did not affect body composition in active, healthy males and females. I would love to see the full paper, not just the abstract, because I'd like to know if, oh, this is it. Oh, sweet. It is actually. I just want to know if they verified whether or not it was actual turkesterone extract. Turkesterone, plant-derived ecdysteroid, type of steroid hormone found in arthropods, insects, crustaceans, some plants. Hormones play a crucial role in regulating various biological processes, particularly growth, development, and molting, shedding of the outer exoskeleton to allow for growth. So if you're an insect, you might want to take some of this shit so you can molt. Despite the speculation that turkesterone exerts anabolic properties in humans, there are no studies that have supported this notion. Protein synthesis in liver tissue, both in living organisms and in controlled laboratory conditions, experienced boosts when mice were administered either phytoecdysone or turkesterone, or the anabolic steroid compound Neurobol. Moreover, in both C2, C12, murine myotubes and human primary myotubes, phytoecdysteroids enhanced protein synthesis by as much as 20%. In vivo experiments showed that ecdysteroids boosted rat grip strength. Senman and colleagues conducted a 10-week randomized controlled trial involving strength training for young men. Various doses of ecdysterone-containing supplements were administered to assess their performance-enhancing effects. Notably, the research participants supplemented with high-dose ecdysterone showed a significant increase in muscle mass, 2 kilogram delta, nonetheless. Human data regarding the ecdysteroid category of supplements is rare, thus the study sought to affect blah blah blah. Elias, $22. This guy has the highest religious authority in Israel. He was the chief rabbi of Israel, and he said stuff like that. ADL slams chief rabbi for likening black people to monkeys. Well, he is an old Jew, so don't know what you'd expect. Thanks for the donation, though, Elias. So, supplementation. The research participants were randomized in a treatment or placebo group. Randomization was systematic in that every other research participant was assigned to a different group. For example, subjects 1 through 5 assigned to group A, blah, blah, blah. So the ajuga extract provided by Nutrition Formulators, Miramar, Florida. So they may have actually gotten real turkesterone for this. I don't know what Greg... So Greg is probably lying. They got a company to actually properly formulate what seems to be a real extract. So, he's probably full of shit. So no differences between both groups. So the current investigation this is the first to assess the effects of turkesterone, type of ecdysteroid, on humans. We discovered that within the investigation's parameters, turkesterone had no physiological effect. Moreover, there is a scarcity of studies regarding turkesterone using animal models. Let me see. Our investigation is the first to assess the effects of turkesterone on body composition in humans. We found that consuming 500 milligrams turkesterone daily for 4 weeks did not affect body composition. Due to the lack of human data on the supplement, it is impossible to compare our investigation to others. Nonetheless, we can make comparisons to human trials that have used other ecdysteroids. So they're just going over other ecdysteroids. There are a myriad of reasons why turkesterone may not have any ergogenic effects as it pertains to this investigation. It should be emphasized that this is the only human study to date on turkesterone. Thus, more studies are needed. Even if turkesterone has anabolic effects in vitro or in animal studies, may not be effectively absorbed or utilized in the human body. Bioavailability of turkesterone is unclear. Furthermore, despite turkesterone having similar structure to other steroids, may not interact with human androgen receptors in the same way. Lastly, the perceived benefits of turkesterone may in part be attributed to placebo effect, and visual response supplements can vary widely. Study was funded in part by and in kind donation of the product and placebo from Nutrition Formulators. So this company, Nutrition Formulators, was responsible for funding the study, So you'd think they would actually have an interest in getting a positive outcome. Greg's video is probably going to be really stupid. I'll wait for him to upload his dumbass video. But I'd like them to actually, maybe I could contact the authors. I'd like them to actually show a verification of whether or not a substantial amount of the actual turkesterone extract was, God damn it, was actually in the supplement. What's the, okay, that's definitely the company. I'll call them tomorrow, and I'll see if I can actually contact any of the authors. I'll do that tomorrow.
University of Florida did a study on turkesterone in human beings. So, going back on what I was saying, okay, all the people that were selling this, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt because there was no studies on human beings. And to me, it's what comes out now in this study in human beings and how all these people, not singling out anybody, how they handle it. To me, that's what defines their future, okay? Because now we have an actual human study. So now let me read to you and go over this study. A preliminary investigation of turkesterone. It's not DECA, no shit. From Greg, but this is an actual clinical study done by a university with doctors. So I'm assuming they have tested their turkesterone batch that they have to prove that it's actually turkesterone. So saying that, I'm gonna read the rest of this. 31 active males and females volunteered for this investigation. Research participants were assessed pre and 4 weeks post for body composition. They tell you which methods they used to measure this. After pre-testing, they were randomized into a placebo, rice flour, or treatment group, 500 milligrams per day of turkesterone, ajuga extract. Subjects were instructed to maintain the same diet and exercise habits during the study. The delta scores of the treatment and placebo, 14 males, 17 females, okay? It didn't do shit to them, nothing, okay? If you go down here, you can see the details of the test, okay? And there's some more details in the conclusion.
It's kind of funny. You actually see more outliers in the placebo group.
So if you guys want to take a look at this, I will post this, a link to the study in the pinned comments so you guys can take a look at this if you want to go in further detail. Okay. The strength of our investigation is that the participants were young, healthy men and women. It is the first and currently only study on turkesterone in humans. However, future work should perhaps examine a longer treatment duration and control for the type of exercise performed by the research participants. Nevertheless, based on the current investigation, there is no evidence that turkesterone supplementation improves body composition. So, like I was saying in the beginning of this study didn't exist in human beings when everyone was selling this stuff. So you have to give the benefit of the doubt to the people who are selling it. And as I said, now that this is out, they have this information. How they proceed in the future with this product, I'm not going to make any suggestions. It's their business. It's what they do. But it's what they do and how they handle this that will determine their future in the people's eyes, because this was such a big story a few years ago and a lot of money was made on this product. But again, there was no studies. Now we have them. What do you guys think? I've been on TRT for over...
Well, what a surprise. Turkesterone does nothing.
Good afternoon, VG. I really and truthfully hope that you are feeling great today. So, did you hear that Alan Lichtman came out with his prediction for who's going to win the 2024 presidential election? Check out on his community posts on YouTube if you wanna know FYI.
Alright, let me take a look. Harris or Trump? Oh, you have to watch the fucking video.
There's a lot of hoopla about age these days.
But not for me.
See that guy in the red shirt? That's Alan Lichtman, 77-year-old. Alan Lichtman's ready to tell us who's going to win in 2024.
It hinges on 13 keys that I developed in 1981 with my geophysicist friend Vladimir. The strength.
Number 1, the White House party for now. Number 5, the short-term economy is strong.
Look, is clearly true.
Number 7, the White House has made major changes to national policy.
Rejoining the Paris Accords on climate change.
Back to session. With new protests, couldn't this key flip?
Yes, there are a lot of protesters upset with Biden's policies in the Middle East. But now with Harris, not Biden, front and center, that has dampened social unrest.
Number 9, the White House is untainted by scandal.
Oh, my favorite key, the scandal key. And Republicans have been trying for years to pin a scandal on President Biden and come up empty. So the key is true.
But come on, Alan. Biden's horrific debate.
Putin endorses Harris, and the single-digit IQ pool fans take it at face value. In addition to Russia, there's also Iran trying to meddle in the US elections. But who would Iran try to get elected? And who would the Chinese try go have elected?
I have no idea. I would imagine neither would be great. I'm pretty sure China would prefer to have Trump be elected. And I would imagine Iran would probably rather have a Democrat be elected. That'd be my guess. Tim Pool and Tim Pool's audience are just complete fucktards, though. Thanks for the donation, Goomba.
Performance, questions about his age.
Once in a generational, broadly inspirational candidate. Harris has not met that standard, so this key is false.
Number 11, the challenger is uncharismatic.
Some people think Donald Trump is a god, but he
Fag donating plant-based is vegan, question mark. These mosquito aerosol spray things are just essential oils, basically. So I haven't seen one that's not vegan friendly. Thanks for the donation, though, Fag.
only appeals to a narrow base, so that key is true.
But wait, that means...
The Democrats will hold on to the White House, and Kamala Harris will be the next president of the United States.
But wait a sec, Alan. We still have 2 keys left. The foreign policy keys?
You're right. Foreign policy is tricky, and these keys could flip. The Biden administration is deeply invested in the war in Gaza, which is a humanitarian disaster with no end in sight. But even if both foreign policy keys flipped false, that would mean that there were only 5 negative keys, which would not be enough for Donald Trump to regain the White House.
So I guess that means you're standing by your prediction.
Kamala Harris will be the next president of the United States. At least that's my prediction for this race. But the outcome is up to you, so get out and vote.
Well,
Yeah, I'm fairly confident Kamala Harris is gonna win. Trump is old as shit, retarded. Not many people actually like him, aside from, the Trump fanatics. So, and just scandal after scandal after scandal, saying the stupidest fucking most insane shit. So, pretty sure Kamala's gonna win.
Hey there people, it is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian, and in today's video I would like to share with you something very special that I found when I was browsing the Russian side of the internet, and in particular Russian TikTok. Yes guys, I'm a Russian native speaker, of course I still consume a lot of Russian content, and that includes trash content as well. I found something that I think explains Russia really well, or rather explains Russia's problem really well. Today we're basically gonna react to a guy that's gonna be spitting a bunch of facts about Russia. But also, this guy has one very big downside, which I don't want to spoil yet, but you can probably guess. Now, you guys already know that on this channel I've talked about a lot of Russia's problems already, and one problem that has always existed in Russia, regardless of the time period, is the quality of the roads. Yes, Russia has a certain notoriety of having bad roads, especially in provincial areas and provincial cities. Bad road quality, bad pavements that get destroyed and are completely unwalkable in the winter, etc. In Russia, we even have kind of a joke proverb that goes as following. В России две беды – дураки и дороги. And basically, the guy that we're gonna look at does exactly that. He exposes the badness of Russian roads in a very funny way. However, there is a bit of a twist that I would like you guys to keep watching for.
Че вы, пидормоты, ебаные пидорасы, блядь? 10 дней уже как нахуй вот эту хуету поставили. Вода ебашит, вымывает, сучары вы ебаные, блядь.
React to this.
Let me see, Dodo.
My daughter's 4 years old. I am an anti-racist educator, quote unquote. She's still watching Disney movies, and she is choosing a white princess over princesses of color.
Have you talked to her about that?
All the time.
My 3-year-old daughter is her favorite princess is Moana.
Love it.
It's a good sign.
Yeah.
But then I also thought...
Thoughts on Andy Elliott?
Garrett, take your shirt off.
That guy is a crazy retard. And I'd say 80% of what he says is complete horseshit.
Come on, Garrett. Take your shirt off, Garrett. Okay, now hold on. Now, Garrett's a killer. Am I right? Garrett, how old are you?
29.
Garrett, does this bother you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, doesn't bother you enough. Because if it did, you wouldn't have it. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
I mean it. Now, come on, put your shirt down. We don't need this. You don't need this. You got kids?
Yes, sir. 2 sons.
Okay. This is the last time I want you to take your shirt off in front of a group of people and not be in the shape you want your children to be in.
What Andy did for me is he kept me accountable, and he told me that I wasn't being my best self. And there's people in this world that can look at that and they can say, wow, he shouldn't do that to him. This is crazy.
He's being mean.
He's being mean. Or you could use that as a resource and you could tap into that limitless potential that you have inside of you, and you could become a fucking animal.
Garrett, take your shirt off.
Like, I understand the point he's trying to make. The problem is this guy is on steroids. He also talks a load of shit about this like hustle culture. He tries to give people this idea that you can literally work like 120 hour weeks and you'll be fine. Like, he made a fucking video where he was trying to explain that if somebody has an 18-hour workday, they still have 6 hours left of free time to do whatever they want. So why do you need any more free time than that? Like, okay, that's literally only 6 hours to sleep. And you really need more than 6 hours per night to sleep. He has some insane hustle culture dumbass mentality that literally doesn't even mathematically make sense. I do kind of appreciate some of this shit where, you know, he does have like these talks about personal accountability. If you wouldn't want this for your kids, why would you want it for yourself? You need to be a better role model so that, you know, stuff like that's fine. But the hustle culture bullshit that he promotes is fucking stupid. And again, this is a guy who talks about, you know, like training, being in shape and all this crap. This guy's on fucking steroids. So it's a little easy for him to talk about this sort of shit when he's literally on drugs that increase protein utilization, make you more aggressive, more willing to work out, improves body composition just in general. You tend to store less fat when you have higher testosterone levels. Thanks for the donation, though, TJ.
You know, there's a little bit of cultural appropriation here. She wants to be Moana for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we navigate that? Do I go and buy the Pacific Islander native attire for my white 3-year-old?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
But I guess what we might call the Moana problem here is what, on one hand, there's cultural appropriation. On the other hand, there's gravitating towards white characters.
Right.
So it's almost like no matter which way you go, you end up back in racism.
We think every space belongs to us because we live in a white supremacist society.
Is America an inherently racist country?
I think the word inherent is challenging there. If we say
fundamentally,
yes. America.
Do you think this chick has like a cuckold relationship with her husband? Because she's upset that her daughter likes white Disney princesses. I'm assuming she has like a white husband or partner. Do you think she like cucks him with black dudes or something?
America is racist to its bones. All of the...
So inherently.
Yeah.
They gonna say you racist.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a really stupid fucking documentary. He just found the craziest progressives he possibly could. It's like if I were to make a documentary on conservatism and I literally found like KKK members or neo-Nazis and was like, see, this is the conservative movement.
Блядь. Ждете, когда, блядь, автобус или КамАЗ, блядь, просто ебанется под землю, да? Ублюдки ебучие, блядь.
So yes, essentially you guys get it. This is the ultimate primal rage of a Russian man who has had enough of these terrible roads in the city of Samara. It's one of the largest cities in Russia with over 1 million people, by the way. And yes, it still has shitty roads.
Ну чё вы ебанутые уроды, блядь? Это же надо, блядь, пешеходный переход сквозь яму, блядь, прокрасить, который сантиметров 30, блядь, долбоёб.
For the love of God, there is no such thing as cultural apport, and a culture is not owned by anyone.
Yes, that is correct. Usually when people talk about cultural appropriation, they're not even talking about cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation is when you take something from another culture, and when white people do it, it's considered cool and trendy. But then when the original culture does it, it's considered like, oh, you're subhuman, you're a Neanderthal, ape-like, you know, that sort of thing. It's not cultural appropriation when you just imitate a culture and you don't look down upon that other culture. So it's stupid. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Dat nigger Matt Walsh is gay. Take it from me, Matt Walsh. Also shout out to Cat Daddy.
He probably is. I would not be surprised if you'd find some gay porn on his phone. Thanks for the donation, though, Matt Walsh.
Ёбы вы ебаные, вы чё, сука, издеваетесь, блядь? А когда эту яму заделаете, бляди вы сраные, блядь, нахуй, со своими, блядь, нахуй. Ну это, блядь, это пиздец, блядь. Взять, блядь, просто пешеходку, нанести поверх ямы, блядь. Я в ахуе, вы долбоёбы, это просто, блядь, как поискать надо, блядь.
I absolutely love it. You know, yes, you can see the quality of Russian road construction here and overall, you know, how things are done, you know, nice fresh coat of paint that makes it all fine. You know, I've grown up seeing basically this my whole life. I come from Chelyabinsk, also a city with over 1 million people in Russia, and yes, it's also not very nice in a lot of areas. Roads are not perfect too. So yes, this is pretty classic, and I definitely feel his rage, but there is an issue with his rage.
Эй, сучары, ну-ка быстро нахуй воду сделали напротив элеватора, блядь. Вода чистая, блядь. Поняли, блядь? А? Сука, напротив элеватора ебаша течет, блядь. Убрать, блядь!
You never know who he's really talking to, right? He's always just saying, you assholes, you pricks, you disgusting people, fix this now! It's like he doesn't say who he's talking to. He's not saying Russian government, Vladimir Putin. He's not saying local administration of Samara or the Samara mayor. He just says, you assholes, because I guess you can't really point out who the assholes are.
Ну чё, пидоры, коррупционеры ебаные, блядь? Ученическая 30, сука, вода бьет уже 3 месяца! Ублюдки ебаные, блядь! Сюда уже бабушка провалилась, вам похуй, блядь! Чистая вода ебашит, и вам до пизды гондоны ебаные, блядь! Я вас рот того ебал, блядь! Александр Иванович Бастрыкин, блядь! РКС проверьте, блядь! Счетные палаты, кто меня смотрит, блядь! Сергей Иванович, блядь! Я говорю, блядь, в Самаре нахуй, блядь! Бюджетные бабки выделяются! Хуй пойми, куда они их тратят, блядь! Вот вода ебашит! Хуй отключают, бляди!
Damn. Okay, he did address some people. He dressed like the head of the FSB. Like he needs to deal with this. They've got other things to deal with right now, my guy. Not like they're not really concerned with the state of Samara, and they never have. But you don't want to know about that.
Ну чё, пидоры, коррупционеры ебаные, блядь? Где ремонт Маяковского, Буянова, блядь? Вы сюда еще уточек, блядь, запустите, блядь.
Jaquavius Tellers video with no views, India #1. Okay. Oh, I know this guy.
Thoughts on?
Thoughts on? Yes, they have been turned on. Thanks for the donation, Non-Wib. This guy makes some of the stupidest fucking videos. I think there was one where he was like hitting a punching bag. That one was great. He's uploaded a fuck ton of these, dude. Holy shit.
Please remain calm. I'm here to help.
Looking back on the track for a little green bag. Out of sight in the night, out of sight in the day.
That guy cannot dance. Thanks for the donation, Jaquavius.
Блядь, лебедей нахуй. Сюда уже бабушка провалилась, вам похуй, блядь. Ты что, нахуй приехали, он моралью придет. А Грозненское кольцо, это вообще пиздец. Все, суки, обещают, делай дорогу туда, блядь. Только размывай. Похуй, РКС, блядь. Райка, блядь. Вот вода, ебать. Хуй отключает, блядь. Мэром, губернатором, да пизды, вы всю засрете, блядь.
Okay, so you guys get it, right? It's just a guy on TikTok who's screaming angrily at, like, the void, essentially, about how annoyed he is with the state of the roads in the city of Samara in Russia. He's playing it up, obviously, a little bit for the TikTok, but, you know, it's funny, it's entertaining, and it's true, right? You guys might say, what is so wrong about this? What is the twist? And what is exactly so interesting?
Can you guess what I was choking with my right arm in my PFP in chat? Any guesses?
Your penis? Thanks for the donation, Stabby Games.
Interesting here. Roman, what is so special about this guy that you're showing us? Well, let's check out some more of his stuff.
Oh boy.
Of course.
It's hilarious how a guy who complains about how, like, Russian infrastructure absolutely sucks, and then he joins the military to die for a shithole country.
So yes, you know, you can see they're all fitted up in the forest somewhere. Clearly playing cosplay, they definitely look too clean to be actually, like, from the battlefield.
Yeah, they couldn't be.
But yeah, he's got a ZOV with a Russian flag, some orthodoxy, V in the background. Yeah, I mean, this is fucking ridiculous, you guys. I mean, it's always so disappointing, right? It's always so funny as a Russian to, like, find something funny or amusing on the internet and then find out that the guy who made it is Z. You know, you just find out that your goat is washed. Your goat is Z. And that's exactly what is happening here.
Oh, so he's not in the military. This is probably, he's probably getting paid to do recruitment videos.
So that, I guess, so yes, what that was, I guess, was his patriotic song. So he actually also makes patriotic songs and releases them, and he makes music videos with his guy.
Poop snork, 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 pee pee.
Thank you for that, non-web. That was some pretty good spam. Appreciate the donation. Do you think 8 hours of sleep and 150 grams of protein daily is enough for bodybuilding powerlifting? For most people of average size, yes. You may or may not need more sleep, and you may or may not need more or less protein. Just depends.
Guys, you know, dressed all up in Z gear and everything. So now essentially, here's where I kind of want to bring my point in, right? He's Z, that sucks, but you know, he's a guy from rural Russia, whatever. To be expected, I guess. But the funniest thing to me, right, is that it never clicks for this guy, right? That maybe perhaps the reason why the roads and, you know, the pavements and everything, you know, in Samara is actually so bad and is never getting repaired, and the reason why everything is made so terribly and so shoddily, and why the local governments and also the federal government doesn't give a rat's ass about what is going on in Samara, maybe, just maybe, the reason why that is happening is because Russia is spending like a fucking billion every single day on the war with Ukraine, meaning that, you know, the money that could potentially go to repairing your road in the city of Samara instead goes into this, like, bomb that is, you know, just dropping and destroys, you know, a house or, you know, a road. You know what I mean? Like, we're kind of past the point of the discussion that, you know, Russian people don't understand that the reason why everything is so shit is because the government is corrupt and they're stealing their money and everything. Russian people actually understand that, but the truth is that a lot of Russian people, especially like deep inside the country, they have this kind of the Tsar is good but the boyars are bad mentality, meaning that essentially everybody's corrupt, but Putin doesn't really know what's going on, or actually, you know, he's just preoccupied with other more important measures to really, you know, care about this stuff, but we should, you know, support him anyway, I guess, because that's logical. We're past discussing that, you know, I've already accepted that Vatniks, you know, they don't have, you know, menu brain cells, but how does it, like, not click in your brain, right? So when you see that your city is neglected by the government, all of your tax money is going to nothing. Moscow is shining, looking beautiful, you know, is getting cleaned, and, you know, Z-Westerners are walking around saying how great it is. Meanwhile, in Samara, your car is stuck in some shithole, right? And never for a second has a thought crossed your mind that maybe, perhaps, if you're not spending hundreds of millions of dollars every single day on this war, perhaps maybe this money could go to actually fixing the roads of the city of Samara and many other cities. No? I mean, that is amazing. You cannot really find real numbers regarding this, but supposedly, Russia is spending several hundreds of millions of dollars per day on the war in Ukraine and has already spent at least over $100 billion, probably closer to $200 billion on the entire war since 2022, which is absolutely fucking insane. And the thing is, because you gotta realize that a ton of Russian regions, like oblasts of Russia, don't even get $100 million as their yearly budget for everything. And look, Russia never cared about the regions, you know. I already said before that, for example, Moscow spends on its lights and lighting alone per year more than some other provincial regions of Russia spend on healthcare per year. So basically, all I'm saying is, right, even before the war in Ukraine...
Yeah, that's a good boy.
Remember that last Mr. Beast Expose video I told you that bro shouldn't have accused his manager of having domestic charges based on rumors cause they didn't verify it was him? I was right, he should have waited.
Let me take a look. James Warren, DV, charges update. The 6NC criminal court cases were not for DV. I still have some FOIA requests out, but an alleged current Mr. Beast employee reached out to me to give their side of the story. I think this person is mistaken with a lot of details, but I do now believe that James Warren DV case that circulated the office was most likely the wrong James Warren. Of course, none of my sources knew that. Yeah. Okay. It's not like he's getting sued, and it's not like he outright claimed this person committed those crimes. He just said it's possible, and he's still looking into it. Thanks for the donation, though, retard. Jaquavius Donatella's videos with no views. This guy's a flat earther, by the way.
Yes, of course I would. Thank you, Walter. And I hope you're still taking your medications. Yes, not too many now. We wouldn't want to see you overdose, my good big lug of a man.
I don't know what the hell that was. Where's the fucking original video? That's not it. That's not it. God damn it. There we are.
We are cats, and that is that. No deep meanings, truths, or facts. Read into this what you will. Don't blame me if you feel ill.
That's my theme song. What the fuck even was that?
Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a patriotic American, yes sirree, Bob. I'm a card-carrying member of the NRA. I like Budweiser, and I like NASCAR races. I like them a lot. I have thick glasses, and if you look at me straight in the eyes, you can see that there are 4 of them.
Yeah, but all psychiatrists are afraid to be crazy.
Our father the dollar. I say my lies every day. I kiss Bud as good as I can. I suck up to everybody who has money, even if I'll never get any of it.
These are weird.
Hi, today I'm going to expose Bitcoin as the fraud that it is. Bitcoin is pretending to be a currency. However, currency...
Okay, I'll watch that in a second. Thanks for the donation, Jaquavius. Nicholas $20, did you watch the new Earthling Ed video on Mr. Beast? I did not. Let me see.
This guy.
We'll take a look at that in a bit. Thanks, Nicholas.
React to this.
I know a girl who got a chin implant, changed her whole face, like crazy. No matter how much cosmetic surgery.
I'm not going to react to that because Jubilee copyright strikes videos, so I'm not going to bother. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo. It's also not an interesting topic.
What color cat would you be?
I think I'd be an orange cat. Thanks for the donation, though, non-wib.
Rich, you hear about this slash backslash slash backslash slash backslash slash backslash slash slash backslash slash backslash slash backslash slash backslash slash backslash.
I'm sure that is merely cultural enrichment.
Gegen 9 Uhr wurden Einsatzkräfte des Polizeipräsidiums München hier auf eine Person aufmerksam, die im Bereich Karolinenplatz und Brienner Straße mit einer langen Waffe hier agierte bzw. besichtigt wurde. Im Folgenden kam es zu einem Schusswechsel zwischen den eingesetzten Beamten und dem Tatverdächtigen.
Well, that's what happens with the anti-Semitic bullshit being spread. Thanks for the donation, Aaron.
Hi VG. Dealing with an issue where I've pain in the forearm area that is activated when doing hammer curls, right where it connects to the bicep. Rested for a month, kind of helped but issue came back. Any suggestions? Should I take a peptide?
So, it's probably the brachial radialis. It's not too uncommon to get some pain there. I actually have some pain in that area on my left arm. I wouldn't recommend taking peptides unless you have rested that area for 3 months. And if it's still giving you pain, that's when you should probably consider taking a peptide. If you only notice flare-ups of pain when you do hammer curls, then I'd recommend just not doing hammer curls again for about 3 months. If you notice pain in that area for like a 3-month period of, if you notice pain in that area doing any other exercises, so like pull-ups, again, just don't do them. Try to find some other alternatives, like maybe chin-ups won't aggravate it, maybe lat pull-downs feel fine. You might want to try using lifting straps. That might also get rid of the pain. If it's still there after 3 months, then I'd maybe consider taking a peptide, seeing if that helps. It may not necessarily be tendon pain, like any kind of tendinopathy or tendinitis. It could just be from a muscular weakness. Given that the pain went away after you stopped training it, it probably isn't muscle weakness. So again, I would just stay off it for like 3 months. Tendon issues take a very long time to heal. They don't get as much blood flow as your muscles, so if you get a tendon injury, it can take a very, very long time for it to heal. So generally, recommend avoid using any kind of drugs, and finding other alternatives. But again, if resting it for that period of time doesn't make the pain go away, then yeah, consider taking peptide after that. Thanks for the donation, though, Axel. Hope that helps.
That study about Turkesterone got to be fake. If Turkesterone doesn't work, then how did it cure Greg Douche said narcolepsy? This some bullshit SMH.
Well, I think you forgot about another possibility, and that is Greg Doucette is full of shit. Thanks for the donation, though, bruh.
Update about yesterday's school shooting.
Let me take a look.
This morning, new details in the Georgia high school shooting that killed 2 students and 2 teachers. There are new questions about possible missed warning signs, and we're standing by for the 14-year-old suspect's first court appearance. The alleged gunman is expected to face murder charges as an adult. Officials are now revealing he was questioned about online threats to shoot up a school just last year. Police are trying to learn how he was able to get an AR-15 style rifle and why he turned it on his classmates. This morning, those classmates are describing the terror and the panic they felt as they hid.
So they already knew about this, and they let him commit the shooting. Why in the fuck would they have just not let him in a public school?
And ran for safety at school.
I was scared I was going to die, to be honest. And when I heard hard lockdown, I knew it wasn't a drill. I just kept my feet up and I prayed. And I closed my eyes and I tried to stay calm. And I was shaking. I was worried that they would hear me.
Then I hear the gunshots. And everyone ducks behind desks. And the teacher is like flipping tables and stuff and barricading the door. So I was just scared out of my mind.
I did not personally know anybody who was hurt.
Dude, kids, just everybody is just such a massive pussy. Oh, I was so scared I was going to get shot and killed. Who fucking cares? If you get shot, you get shot. Whatever.
But we were sitting at the field up there. One of my cadets was going through.
Has just started, and here we are with a school shooting. Here are the 14-year-olds being remembered today and the 2 teachers. For heartbroken families, as grief engulfs another American community, we will share more with you about the victims' lives. But first, CNN Nick's Valencia is live at the school just about an hour outside of Atlanta. What are some of the new details?
Bend over donate tellers. Big win for religious freedom and church-state separation in the U.S. thanks to yours truly, Satanic Temple. Let me see.
County this morning, the school board says it won't move forward with a volunteer chaplain program for now. It follows concerns from some groups, including the Satanic Temple. Channel 9's Q McCrae joins us live this morning outside of district headquarters. And Q, a member of the temple, spoke at last night's meeting.
That he did. And in a nutshell, the Satanic Temple wants equality before the law. They say if you're going to allow all the other mainstream religions to take part in this program, it should be allowed to as well. And it was a big point of contention behind those doors there during last night's school board meeting. The Osceola County School Board is really caught in the crosshairs of a new state law that allows schools to have volunteer chaplains. The school board is grappling with how to balance the rights of religious groups with the need to maintain a secular public education system. And the Satanic Temple has made waves by expressing interest in participating in the program, raising concerns about the separation of church and state.
Members of the Satanic Temple are integral to the fabric of your schools and neighborhoods, and our rights are inalienable as anybody else's.
Now, the debate over the role of religion in schools is...
Get fucked. I don't even know why they try. Like, they're just so stupid, and they don't even realize how these policies where they try to combine church and state negatively affects them, and then the Satanic Temple comes in, and then they're like, oh yeah. Thanks for the donation though, Ben.
That you have been learning in this case.
Yeah, chilling details this morning, Sarah, in a really heavy atmosphere around the school. The alleged gunman identified as 14-year-old Colt Gray, a student at Appalachia High School, somebody who was familiar to law enforcement. We'll have more on that in just a moment, but we're also learning about the caliber style of weapon that was used, an AR-15. The community, though, really focused on the victims and trying to huddle around the families that were impacted by this. Late last night, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation releasing the names of those victims, 2 of them students, just 14 years old. One of them identified as Mason Skirmerhorn, the other classmate Christian Angulo, 2 of them teachers, those adults, one of them a 53-year-old math teacher, Christina Irimi, and the other Richard Aspinwall, who also was a coach on the football team, a defensive coordinator. The 39-year-old was a teacher here.
CM Punk fan donated $2. Did they cook?
He goes from like cocky and confident, I'm the fucking champ or whatever, WWE, to like, just believe in yourself, kids.
Don't believe in
yourself. And he has
yourself.
no physical, no physique. It's kind of sad.
He's a very nice guy, but he does not have athletic talent. And when he was in the WWE, he was allowed to say, I am the fucking man, and throw his arms up in the air. Right. And they had it scripted so that he was the man. CM Punk fans get mad at me. I'm like, look, this is what I do. I understand what I'm talking about, man. I got a pit bull, and I'm going to put him in a cage with a puppy. What do you think's going to happen? The pit bull's going to kill the puppy. It's not like Brock Lesnar. Like, Brock Lesnar came to the UFC. He was a national champion as a wrestler. He's a fucking gorilla as a human being. Just a freak athlete. Yeah. CM Punk is a regular guy. Yeah. Like, he's not, there's nothing freaky about him. He doesn't have crazy power or weird speed. A guy like CM Punk, he didn't have a background. And he tried martial arts when he was like 36.
So he had no background?
Not really.
In the even wrestling background?
No, he didn't even wrestle. So...
Yeah, well, that's true.
With that fight, the other side of this coin is Lesnar's terrible. That's the one thing that we never talk about because he's such a good draw and such a good presence, and he won a world championship. But we never talk about the elephant in the room, which is Brock Lesnar sucks. And as much as Brock Lesnar sucks, and I would be stunned if anybody was to challenge me on anybody in the know was to challenge me on that statement. That would stun me. The other side of it, if we're being fair,
Brock Lesnar is not a good martial artist, but he is exceptional physically. So strength and power and speed, there wasn't really anybody in the UFC that could compete with him on that level. But when it comes to actual martial arts acumen, he wasn't great. So I don't know what he means by Brock Lesnar sucks, but, Thanks for the donation, though, CM Punk fan.
Seriously, why can't the fucking Poils just do their job and open fire on the shooter?
I don't know, man. Maybe the police are kind of not as useful as we thought they were. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
He was beloved, and in fact, we interviewed a student of his who described him as just being a really, really sweet person. Among the other victims, though, that were injured, 9 altogether, 8 of them students, 1 of them an adult, and yesterday we were bringing you details of that adult who we know that was shot in the stomach, was in surgery yesterday during the hours that I was reporting, still waiting on an update on their condition. But we are getting new information from the students here who were eyewitnesses, and it was yesterday my colleague Isabel Rosales caught up with one of the students here impacted by the tragedy.
I just remember, the moment that it happened, he was at the door, and I knew they were looking for him already, but he was at the door, and they almost let him in until they backed up, and then he turned away, and that's when you hear, the first round of fire.
So he was in class with you, in algebra class, he left. Then he came back, was at the door, and then knocking to be let back in. Why? You told me something about the doors.
Yeah, they lock automatically, so you have to be let in to come back into our classroom. So I think he wanted to come to us first.
Come to you first to shoot?
Yes, to shoot us.
The big questions this morning, where is Gray? When will he be seen next? When will his first court appearance, and will he be facing charges as an adult? Sarah?
All right, Nick Valencia, thank you so much. A lot of people don't remember those who have been shot, not just killed. There is so much tragedy there in that community, John.
All right, CNN Chief Law Enforcement and Intelligence Analyst John Miller is with us now. Nick just alluded to this, John, but the shooter was on the radar of law enforcement, federal law enforcement, in 2023 when the FBI picked up on some kind of a message board, then related it down to local authorities. What more could have been done there?
I'm not sure anything more could have been done. When you look at the system and ask, well, did
I'm going to shoot and kill people at my school. Does nothing. I don't know if anything could have been done. Like, Jesus Christ, bro. Police are just completely incompetent.
Also, if the media treats these school shootings like such a tragedy, why don't they just not report on them in the first place, so that why more are not inspired to do it again?
Well, they have no morals, dude. There's a culture of mass shooting in the United States, particularly when it comes to school shooting. The reason these school shooters do it is, again, for that kind of notoriety and fame and attention and crap. You just don't see that in other countries, even though other countries, kids have access to firearms. So there's a culture of mass shooting in the United States. All these shooters know of each other. They look up previous mass shootings. They look up the stories, the headlines, and they kind of get infatuated with the whole thing, and then they end up doing it. So if the shit didn't go on national news, you would probably see it far less. Or so I should say it would happen far less. But they don't care. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
did the system work? Tips came in from the public. That's people on the internet who saw this threat to shoot up a school coming from a handle on a gaming website. They then sent that to an FBI threat line that you can reach online, which goes to the NTOC, the National Threat Operations Center. They then take those tips and they run it down. Where's this IP address where this threat came from? Who's the subscriber? Does it have a physical address? They then forward that to Jackson County Sheriff in Georgia. And Jackson County does not drop the ball. They send investigators out. They go to the house. They ask, is there somebody here that uses that computer? Yes, we have a son. Are there guns in the house? Yes, there are, but they're locked away and he doesn't have access to them. They question a 13-year-old boy who turns out to be our shooter a year later. And he says, that wasn't me. Somebody else must have done that threat to make it look like me. So they end up closing the case because it's not arrestable. It's probably not prosecutable. He's 13 years old. They even notify the local.
That is absolute fucking bullshit, dude. So if this is enough for the FBI to get involved and then send local law enforcement to do an investigation, the idea that this isn't an arrestable offense, get fucked. They just couldn't care less. They had better things to do than to interview a kid, do an investigation, make charges. I want to quit my shift, I need to get home to my kids and I gotta make dinner. Let's just fucking get the fuck out of here, whatever. Kid said some edgy shit online. And then they left, and then, the kid commits a shooting a year later. They just couldn't be fucked. If there was enough trouble for the FBI to get involved, and for local law enforcement to get involved, there was clearly an arrestable offense or something they could have done to prevent this kid from going to public school, or making some sort of special requirement for the parents to lock up their guns in a certain way or something. That is total horseshit. Police never take accountability.
School district. But when they move from Jackson County to Barrow County, that information, we don't know whether that followed the Jackson County school to the Barrow County school. It's unlikely. But at that point, instead of looking at authorities who checked all the boxes, you really have to shift that look to where was the concern in that home? What was the level of that concern by the parents? How did they engage that child about that threat? And obviously, if that gun came from the house, there's another issue there.
We also were talking about the idea that this young man was a loner, right? Let's listen to what one of his classmates said.
Nothing too off. He was just another quiet kid that didn't really speak too much.
And I know you've been in school here for a few weeks.
Dude, this is literally exactly the same story as the Columbine shooting. Those shooters, I think it was the one shooter from Columbine, he had his own website with a kill list, and he was making direct threats to certain students, saying he was going to kill them. The police investigated. They also sent the information to the school. Nobody did anything. They were like, whatever, edgy kid. He likes watching fucking, movies and stuff and playing video games, and he's just writing shit on his computer, whatever. And then he shoots up the school. Same exact situation. So you have a kid making direct threats, claiming he's going to kill people. Nobody does anything. And, oh my God, he killed somebody? Well, there's nothing we could have done. Like, the police are just useless.
You've been sitting next to him all the way through? Did anything different today about him?
No, he wasn't here when when school first started. I think he transferred in, but nothing really seemed too off about him.
So what does that tell us? I mean, the idea that he's a loner, that he didn't really talk to other kids. He's also new in the school, so that could be perfectly normal. Or it could be a sign that he is feeling ostracized, that he is feeling as an outsider. We find that as a common theme in some of these young people involved in school shootings. And it has become a part of the school doctrine to kind of look for these signs if there are concerns to report them. Even the school had that electronic system that they installed a week ago. I think it's called Zengenics, where they press one button, the entire school goes on alert that there's an emergency or an active shooter. It goes into lockdown. This technology goes then right to the police, to the front office. Police can see on their devices where people are in the school, floor plans, maps. There's another company that came after the Fort Lauderdale shooting by an entrepreneur named Gino Rufaro, who set up Safer Watch. It does all that, but it also has an anonymous tip function where if someone has concerns about someone who may hurt people or may be contemplating self-harm, that you can report that. So these technology is catching up.
Technology is catching up. Well, didn't stop the school shooter, did it? Like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard. Like, unless you're gonna have attack robots that are gonna engage the shooter, like, what the fuck is he talking about? Technology's catching up to the school shooters. There'll be an alarm that goes off, and then people can lock the classroom doors. Okay, well, that's wonderful. Clearly didn't stop an AR-15. I've got to go take a piss. I will be right back. Yeah, sorry, Finn. Gotta... Oh, my little baby. Ah. Oh, that's a good Finn. Yeah, you do mlems. Alright, come on. I'll be right back. Oh, relax. Oh my god, dude. In. Ah. Oh my. Why are you so weird? You're just a strange dog. Oh my god, you're so weird. Jesus Christ.
Is based on a commodity that has real value, like gold, silver, copper, oil, or even honey, something that can't be faked. In contrast, Bitcoin is a number on the computer representing wasted electricity while running secret program that is only controlled by its creators. Two kids who first used the 10,000 Bitcoins to order pizza. That shows that they basically did it as a joke, and it worked, unfortunately. While it's not a coin, it's represented with a logo of a coin to dupe people to give it credibility. Number on a computer.
Okay, this guy doesn't understand cryptocurrency.
Is Jimmy Donaldson, also known as Mr. Beast, and he is the most subscribed individual on YouTube with over 300 million subscribers. He is known for posting extravagant, high-end productions where he claims to give away massive sums of money to friends, family, charity, and strangers, which has led to him being dubbed YouTube's biggest philanthropist, which all sounds great. Right? Now, Mr. Beast has been in the news a lot recently because of varying allegations and concerning details. However, in today's video, I'm going to be discussing another aspect of Mr. Beast's channel that nobody wants to talk about, and revealing why he isn't as nice as you think he is. However, before we dive any further into the video, I want to tell you all about today's partner, Complement, and in particular, their product, Complement Essentials, all of which can further help you also get your hands on their. But instead of promoting companies that care about our health, animals, and sustainability, well, Mr. Beast, he does the opposite.
The sponsor of this video is dairy.
Now, one of Mr. Beast's most nefarious sponsors is the Dairy Checkoff Program, which is a government-backed scheme that is there to promote dairy products and to drive up demand for dairy, often using exploitative marketing tactics.
Strong bones. The calcium in milk helps make your bones strong.
Exhibit A, of course, is what's in front of us. They paid Mr. Beast to frame a promotional video for the US dairy industry as a competition on Minecraft.
I have 100 Minecraft players here and 100 plots of land. And whoever creates the best farm wins $50,000.
So essentially, he incentivized his audience to unwittingly participate in an advertisement for milk with the promise of winning money. And sadly, the manipulation doesn't stop there. During the video, he spoke about the supposed health and environmental benefits of dairy, as well as framing it as an ethical choice.
Now, while everyone is building, I want to tell you about the sponsor of this video, America's Dairy Farmers. America's Dairy Farmers wanted you to know that 95% of farmers, large and small, are actually family owned. And in case you don't know, drinking dairy is linked to some health benefits like reduced inflammation and a stronger immune system. And in a really pro-gamer move, dairy farmers of America are aiming to be carbon neutral by 2050. Now that's epic. On top of that, they're committed to the wellness of the cows, and they're only milked for around 20 minutes a day.
Okay, so let's start with the claim that 95% of dairy farms in the US are family owned. A statement that has no function other than to make the industry seem more wholesome and less harmful than it really is. We shouldn't be supporting the exploitation and abuse of cows for an unnecessary and violent product just because the people carrying out the violence might be related. What about their promise of carbon neutrality by 2050? Firstly, 2050 doesn't really make it seem like a priority, although I do actually have a foolproof way to make dairy farming sustainable. It's called veganism. And actually, the whole climate neutral term is a complete and utter sham. The term itself is being used by the animal farming industry as a red herring. Basically, it's based on this greenhouse gas metric called GWP star that has been used by the farming industry in a misleading way to make themselves seem less harmful than they actually are. Put simply, it is just industry propaganda. The problem is you would think that climate neutral means that the industry is no longer having a negative impact on the planet, but that's just simply not true. The dairy industry's supposed environmental targets are just a marketing strategy. It's not because the industry cares about becoming more sustainable or more ethical. The important thing for us always to remember is that milk stolen from animals will always be the least sustainable and indeed the least ethical. And perhaps the most egregious suggestion of all is that Mr. Beast implies that dairy farmers care about their animals because they only milk them for 20 minutes per day. Now, firstly, by insinuating that limiting the amount of time spent being milked is a good thing, the dairy industry is inadvertently admitting that the exploitation of cows for their milk is not actually in the best interests of the cows themselves. But aside from being a major own goal, this assertion completely and, dare I say, deliberately overlooks the point. You see, the problem is not simply how long cows are milked for. It's about the whole system of dairy farming. Cows are forcibly impregnated by farmers. They have their babies stolen from them at birth. And when their milk production declines, they are killed long before their natural lifespan. Dairy cows ultimately are bred into existence to live a life of misery and suffering, and also that we can needlessly exploit them to steal their breast milk. By channeling industry rhetoric through the mouths of popular gamers and YouTubers, the Checkoff aims to convince young people to consume dairy by having their favorite content creators sell it to them, people they find relatable and funny. And also, while this video is framed as Mr. Beast giving away $50,000, whose money actually is it? Is it his own personal money, or is that money from the dairy industry, which is on top of the money that they will have paid directly to Mr. Beast personally in order for them to be the sponsor of his video?
This is your sign to have a photo shoot at a dairy farm.
Even if you're not on a farm like me, I want you to duet this and show me how you're being sustainable.
Okay then, Jimmy, well, vegans are being sustainable by being vegan and eating a plant-based diet, which is supported by the scientific literature, and according to the author of the largest study ever done looking at the effects of farming on the environment, is probably the single biggest way of reducing your impact on the planet. You see, Jimmy, talking about sustainability on a dairy farm is like talking about gambling awareness at Caesar's Palace. And he says that a glass of cow's milk is made with 20% fewer emissions than 15 years ago, but he doesn't give any references or show any research to back this up, and that doesn't even mean that dairy would now be sustainable. But I guess if the dairy industry says that they're sustainable and ethical, well, we should just believe them, because they certainly have no reason to lie. But sadly, Jimmy's abuse of animals doesn't just stop there, because when he's done exploiting them for their milk, he moves on to their flesh. In 2020, Mr. Beast opened Mr. Beast Burger, a fast food chain which sells the flesh of cows, chickens, and pigs in around 2,000 locations worldwide.
We need 4 burgers!
Four burgers! I've never done this in my life.
Although it is a ghost franchise, mostly operating out of the kitchens of other restaurants, he did open one physical Mr. Beast location in New Jersey, which he claimed broke the record for most burgers sold by one restaurant in a single day. In other words, Mr. Beast broke the record for most animals killed for burgers by one restaurant in a single day. I mean, how many innocent beings were forced into a slaughterhouse for Mr. Beast's burgers? Does that fit in with Jimmy's brand of kindness and charity and generosity? The hypocrisy is just as glaring with his Team Trees initiative, campaign that he set up to restore degraded land by planting trees, including in the Amazon rainforest, an area which has been devastated by cattle farming for beef. In fact, beef production is the #1 driver of deforestation in South America and indeed globally. That's right, beef, the cornerstone of Mr. Beast Burger. The truth is, Mr. Beast is just engaging in positive PR for his own personal brand. But unfortunately, Jimmy's exploitation of animals doesn't end there.
This is 10,000 turkeys, and we're gonna give them all away to people in need.
Now, some of you may be thinking, look, I know 10,000 animals have been killed for this, but come on, he's helping to feed families in need. However, that's not really the full picture, because while events like this are framed as charitable acts with purely altruistic intentions, they ultimately serve as promotional tools for Mr. Beast's brand and marketing for unethical corporations and companies, something which comes at the expense of animals, the planet, and indeed, even the very people they claim to be helping. In this particular video, Mr. Beast partners with turkey producer Jenny O, who just months before this video was exposed for horrific animal cruelty. Hundreds of turkeys at Jenny O facilities died from heat stress in 6 separate incidents after being left to endure over 90-degree Fahrenheit temperatures in direct sunlight with no proper ventilation. And another Jenny O facility was caught running over birds with transport trucks, and another ranked as one of the worst slaughterhouses for birds in the US, with there being frequently malfunctioning stunning equipment that mutilated turkeys alive. Jenny O was also previously implicated in a huge salmonella outbreak, which killed at least one person and made hundreds of others sick. But even if Jenny O hadn't done the things I've just listed, even if they strictly followed what is legally allowed, that's still immoral. They're still causing suffering and harm and violence and still killing animals unnecessarily, which is immoral. The fact that they've gone beyond that and inflicted even more suffering and harm on these turkeys just further proves how morally bankrupt and unethical Jenny O really is. I mean, what better way to distract people from such PR disasters than by staging a huge publicity stunt framed as a generous giveaway?
In case you're wondering how we got 10,000 turkeys to give away, they all actually came from Jenny O. And the crazy thing is, this is their largest donation ever. Last year, they donated over 400,000 pounds of turkeys to people in need. Like this. Where'd you get that from? I found it. That's not fake. This oven-ready turkey from Jenny O. Did they tell you to say that? They did. They gave me $3 and a turkey. They're also pre-seasoned. And more importantly, they gave us 10,000 turkeys to give away at this food drive, so I forbid you from buying a turkey from any other brand for this Thanksgiving. This is the Thanksgiving turkey now. Obviously, we couldn't have done it without them.
Now, it's obvious here what Jenny O has to gain. They've got the most subscribed YouTuber on the planet, telling everyone how great they are and encouraging his millions of viewers and hundreds of millions of subscribers to buy their products. It's a win-win.
Yeah, Mr. Beast is a fucking whore. He is nothing but a whore who just wants to make as much cash as easily as possible. I fucking hate that guy.
Hey faggot, just popping in to say how gay you are. Have a great day. Penis.
Well, thank you for that, gay black Trump supporter. Appreciate it. I'm feeling very dizzy right now. I'm just gonna have to take a minute or two. Ugh. Jaquavius donated $2. Just a second.
This is the Toronto police chief. You remember me, Blackie? I heard what you said about us in your recent stream. Keep talking and find out, Blackie. You, ara, 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 you.
That does sound like something the Toronto Police would say. Thanks for the donation, Toronto Police. Videos with no views, super entertaining edition. Oh, this is that old Jurassic Park game. I think. Oh, maybe this is a mobile game. Dude, are you trying to, like, make me fall asleep?
And now, a furry pretending to be a man. Rick, are you a furry? No, I'm an anti-furry guy. Can't you see by the flag in my arm? Okay, Herrick. I guess I'll go ask Vaxland if he's a furry or not. Hey Vaxland, are you a... I'm not a furry. I'm a real man. Okay. The end. Also, me and Vaxland are allies in the Turanian League, so I don't try to think about killing my ally.
Hey, welcome back to Rooftop Talks. I wanted to get into a little bit of my backstory of how I went vegan and how going vegan and, you know, they were lucid, they were anger, because we need to have...
Okay, thanks for the donation, Jaquavius. Nice try. Thanks for the donation, though, Toronto Police.
Why do you look like a light-skinned Drake looking nigger?
We're cousins. Thanks for the donation, Frank Gay Fano.
For Mr. Beast and Genio, but it's a lose-lose for the animals, and it's not even necessarily in the best interests of the recipients of the turkeys either. Animal agriculture is a key driver of things like climate change, antibiotic resistance, and indeed pandemics. And animal products increase the risk of developing many different chronic diseases, something which, particularly in the US, affects poor and marginalized communities the most. Plus, Jenny O's parent company was sued for artificially driving up the prices of pig meat in an illegal price-fixing scheme, ultimately making it less affordable. So if you think this company really care about disadvantaged communities, well, think again. Do we really believe they care about helping vulnerable people and feeding the hungry? It's all about cleaning up their own image while continuing to cause so much harm and suffering to animals and indeed ultimately to the planet and inevitably to us as well. Now, is handing out free food to people a good thing to do? Sure, of course it can be. But that's actually a red herring argument, as doing a good thing doesn't make doing a bad thing okay as a consequence. Why not make it something that doesn't promote violence and that'll be better for the planet and people's health and of course animals? And this is actually a really important point. Mr. Beast could still make his viral videos, but without hurting animals. He can do giveaways. He could give away plant-based food. He could open up a plant-based restaurant and ultimately...
Well, that's the thing. He just doesn't care. And if he doesn't care, why would you expect him to do the right thing?
He could put his money where his mouth is about things like sustainability. Now, another initiative that Jimmy uses to greenwash himself is Team Seas, which is a campaign that he created to remove plastic from the ocean and has a focus on discarded fishing gear, also called ghost nets. Now, this is obviously beyond ironic for several reasons. Firstly, and most obviously, because Jimmy's not vegan and contributes directly to the problem of ghost nets by eating fish. Secondly, he promotes the consumption and unnecessary killing of fish for food, but also for entertainment. For example, he boasted about eating the world's most poisonous fish.
This is pufferfish, the most poisonous fish in the world.
And he also pays restaurants to make him their rarest and most excessive seafood dishes.
So this is octopus.
That's a flash fry shad roe, sashimi shrimp with fried shrimp head.
Up next is $5,000 tacos. What makes them so expensive?
So what it makes is all the ingredients, the tuna, the caviar. The shell is made out of squid.
Is this how someone who cares about the ocean acts? Is this how someone who claims to care about the issue of ghost nets in the ocean acts? Simply put, if we want to tackle the issue of discarded fishing nets, we have to stop putting fishing nets in.
Wake up, Richard, you little bitch. Shake that mulatto butt until the poop flies out.
It is just not a good day today, dude. I'm very...
Here, to help wake you up.
I am just... so fucking exhausted. I'm only eating 850 calories per day, training for about 2.5 hours a day, doing 8-hour fucking streams. I literally put my fucking whole motorcycle back to fucking together. Like, it's rough. Thanks for the donation though, gay nigga.
I'm a vampire! 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 Put it in the right file, according to alphabetical order. You're A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z! Huh? What am I, a fucking retard, man? Am I a fucking retard, huh? I know what this is. You're trying to stop me out because of this lazy little man you beat around. Well, vive la fucking France, man!
That's what happens when your only calories come from vegan Oreos and soy.
I have not been eating Oreos, but thanks for the donation, Frank Gayfano.
Someone's trying to kill me, man! Oh, you fucking hangers! It never just goes away. The goddamn contract is somewhere in those goddamn fucking files! Fuck! Fucking fuckers! Fuck! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck Mexico! Horseshit. Hi, fucking yeah! You fucks, I hate you. I hate you both. I should fucking both. Just right now, I should fucking kill you fucking both! Have you ever been dragged to the sidewalk and beat until you pissed blood? No! Fuck you! Fuck You that fucking no man! God! Bitches! You bitches! Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey! How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? I don't know! Tell me!
Dude, Wicker Man was Wicker Man was one of his best movies. He literally wore a bear costume and just started punching women. It was so hilarious.
No, stop moving! What is it? 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 Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Oh, my eyes! My eyes!
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
In the oceans in the first place. If we want to protect our oceans, then the best and simplest thing that we can do is stop eating fish. Sadly, Jimmy is promoting the very thing that he is then asking people to donate to try and clean up. It's like him starting fires and promoting arson, and then running a fundraiser for fire extinguishers. Or it's like him raising money for the Amazon, but promoting and profiting off of cattle farming. Even if Mr. Beast's philanthropy had only the best intentions, a few acts of kindness do not cancel out the massive systemic injustices and wrongdoings that he perpetuates every day of the week with things like his burger franchise, his glorification of mindless overconsumption, his treatment of animals, and his greenwashing of the worst and most harmful industries on the planet. And imagine the impact that Mr. Beast could have if he instead influenced people to stop giving their money to animal-abusing, environment-destroying businesses and instead encourage them to embrace a plant-based vegan lifestyle, something that is truly compassionate. So Mr. Beast, it's time to align what you claim you care about with your actions as well. Let's not just talk about kindness and sustainability. Let's live in a way that actually embodies these values. And please, Jimmy, it's time to use your platform and business ventures to genuinely and meaningfully.
Andy donated $3. Let me see, Andy.
Have you ever heard of the drink that's been dubbed Scotland's liquid cocaine? It's a controversial and polarising topic in the country, but one thing is certain. Buckfast tonic wine is not your average beverage. The drink was first produced by Benedictine monks at Buckfast Abbey in Devon, England in the late 19th century. It was marketed as a tonic wine, meant to be taken for medicinal purposes and made from a blend of wine, caffeine, and various B vitamins. In the late 20th century, Buckfast gained popularity in Scotland, particularly among young people in working class neighbourhoods and housing estates. It became known for its low price and high alcohol content, with some people even referring to it as Bucky. However, this association with problematic drinking and antisocial behaviour led to Buckfast becoming a controversial and polarising topic in Scottish society. Some people blamed the drink for contributing to crime and social issues in certain areas, and it was even nicknamed Wreck the Hoose Juice. due to its reputation for being involved in instances of binge drinking and violence. As a result, Buckfast has faced criticism and calls for it to be banned or regulated. In 2011, the Scottish Government even held a summit to discuss the issue, and some retailers and pubs have chosen not to sell the drink due to concerns about its reputation. However, for many people in Scotland, Buckfast remains a beloved and integral part of their culture and social life. It's often seen as a symbol of working class pride and rebellion, and is frequently consumed at events and parties. Despite the controversy, Buckfast tonic wine remains a popular and enduring part of Scottish culture. It continues to be produced by the monks at Buckfast Abbey and is sold in various countries around the world.
I tell you what though, folks, that's bloody nice. That is really... That is bloody lovely.
Okay, well now I know about that wine. Thanks for the donation, Andy. Bamboosis donated... fuck. There we go. Bamboosis donated $2. Vegan activism, lol. Well, that goat was upset about something. Oh, it's a badger. Oh my god. I didn't know they were so nice. Oh my goodness. Wow, look at him. He's so nice. Oh, that's a nice badger. Oh. That dog is so cute. Oh my goodness.
You cannot have attention at all times.
That dog is really cute. Thanks for the donation, Bamboosis.
Promote the ideals that you claim to care about. So that brings me to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. As always, I'd love to know down below in the comments what your thoughts are around the issues that I've discussed throughout. And I'd like to end by saying again a huge thank you to Compliment for partnering with me on today's video. And as always, I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video.
Well, that was a good video.
Insane. Tim just released a statement on Twitter. Remember, I told you, for people like Tim Pool, that buy-off is going to be really expensive to actually bring them on board. It would need to be closer to $5 million yearly for him to be interested.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine. And we should apologize to Russia.
I just wouldn't have expected this much money to be invested in this.
That's what happens when you're a free thinker.
Dave Rubin, I think, is his name. Like, do you think he's like actually retarded, or is he like a paid dude?
My assumption would be that like people make too much money in this space to be paid off by Russia. But now I don't know like how much of their audience is even real, especially as I've been diving into all this bot. Like these people might make way less money than I actually thought. In which case, like if Dave Rubin only makes 250,000 USD a year, you could easily buy him off. People in media should publish their taxes. That's like a thing people should have to do. I don't know.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country.
Do you think he's literally being paid by Russia or just retarded? I don't know at this point. The thing is that the marching orders are so consistent from person to person to person. The Hinkles, the RFKs, all these like conservative weirdos online that also make appearances on RT and shit. I don't know if they get paid through some Russian. I feel like if there was a huge payment scheme that somebody would have uncovered it by now.
Ukraine is our enemy.
Conservatives are generally the ones right now. Generally, they're the ones that are primed to believe like every crazy conspiracy on everything. But it's so funny because when anything regarding Russia comes up, they're like, no, I don't think they would ever do that.
Why?
Russia.
Yeah, why
Russia? Would they really try to? No, I mean, or maybe
being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine.
Oh, I'm sorry, we don't like evidence. I'm sorry. I'll wait for that to show up on a Tim Pool podcast, and then you'll believe it. Jesus Christ. My God, you motherfuckers will cite Russia Today and believe it over your own fucking intelligence agencies. It's so wild.
Is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. Triggering this conflict.
Never think agents in Moscow are each day laughing for spreading stories via X or Tim Pool just to see who can make you more upset at the insanity. That would be funniest.
Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and to the world. We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support, and we should apologize to Russia.
Why is it the conservative just like...
Since you are head over heels in love with Joe Rogan, Andrew Tate, Sean Baker and last but not least Durian Ryder, I was wondering what you think of Sean Baker's world record. Jewish.
He doesn't have a world record. He's at the top of the leaderboard for a cardio machine. He's an idiot. Thanks for the donation, Jewish.
It rots my brain. It's just insane how much stupid shit they can say and get away with. It's insane. How big of a player in the AI game is Musk supposed to be when it comes to like Grok and Twitter and his early investments and all that shit? Like, is he considered like irrelevant now, or is it like, oh, he's rich and he invests and he's like a decent? I don't mean in terms of like how cutting edge is their shit, but in terms of like places. I feel like it's so weird that a guy that owns X and is like investing into AI shit, it just will like blatantly retweet like fake AI news. That's just like insane to me. Even if it is obvious and you say it's obvious, but it's not to everybody that clicks it. I know because my mom sends me some of these stupid fucking links. Like, this behavior would be so unacceptable from anybody else. Like, if Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg were doing things like this, it would just be insane. It would be unhinged. Elon is like Trump, except while Trump is 80 to 85 IQ, Elon might be 90 to 95 IQ. Based on how I've heard Elon talk, I feel like Elon is probably quite a bit above average intelligence. He's just like very, very, very emotionally driven. I really do think that Elon's whole online thing is a reaction to just people bullying him. Could Kamala sue? It's not a matter of suing. It's just Elon's behavior is wholly unacceptable. Like, remember, Republicans wanted to destroy all social media protections because they felt like COVID misinformation was being censored too heavily. But when a foreign actor like Elon Musk, who's intensely politically partisan, buys and then goes private with one of the largest social media networks in the United States and is blatantly a politically partisan hack, and then even like retweets and spreads like AI misinfo, the Democrats are silent. And nobody seems to care. But it's because the standard is so low for conservatives. We just like expect it. Like, if you were to hold like a meeting and you had like conservative children and liberal children, and the conservatives showed up where they'd all shit themselves, the expectation would be that you would tell the liberals to just bring nose pins. Like, obviously the conservatives are going to show up shitting themselves. Like, no shit. Like, obviously. As alleged, the Russian state broadcaster RT orchestrated a massive scheme to influence the American public by secretly planting and financing a content creation company in U.S. soil, says DOJ, indictments against Kostya Kalashnikov and Elena Afanasieva. Jesus. Benny and Pool, the same review subscribers as mentioned in section 4 or paragraph 4 of the indictment. Wait, hold up. Kalashnikov, Afanasieva, I don't know, founder 1 and founder 2, also worked together to deceive 2 U.S. online commentators, commentator 1 and commentator 2, who respectively have over 2.4 million and 1.3 million YouTube subscribers. Tim Pool, 1.4 million.
There's this idea.
Or 1.37 million. I don't know if they just went with the Google list here or the Google. Founder 1 and founder 2 contracted commentator 1 and commentator 2 to produce videos using commentator 1 and commentators whose own names and leveraging their existing audiences for license and publication by U.S. company 1. Wait. Oh, fuck. What did I watch? Oh, I don't think I watched this on stream. I think this is off stream. Oh, I'm not going to be able to remember it. There was a girl that was on Tim Pool, and I was listening to them talking about something, and she literally says, "Yeah, this reminds me of when I used to work. This reminds me when I used to work back with RT." Fuck. Oh God, what's the video that I'm thinking of? I think it was recent. It was a girl that said it. I think there were 2 different women on the show. The redhead, was it? I don't know if it was her or not. Oh, what was this about? The U.S. company at the center of this Russian plot uses the same slogan, the indictment notes, as Tenet Media, the home of Lawrence Southern, Tim Pool, and Benny Johnson, among others. Uh-oh. 2 counts, FARA and money laundering. Network of heterodox commentators that focus on Western political and cultural issues and identify 6 commentators who regularly post videos featuring these commentators, as well as other videos that do not feature commentators across an array of social media networks. My schizo posting is real and true. Wait, this lady. Hold on. I don't think we ever watched this on stream. I heard her say this and I was like, oh, interesting. Yep, yeah, here it is. I was like, damn, she's just on your show, huh?
Troops out of Syria. He set a deadline for withdrawal from Afghanistan. They lost their minds over that, and I think that was the principal catalyst that set them off to try and destroy him.
Yeah, and having dialogue with other world leaders such as Putin. I mean, I went to the Trump-Putin summit at the time I was working for RT, which was super fun because we were at the center of the conspiracy to elect Trump, you may recall. And it was for me
just wild how, again, imagine a CNN show, imagine some like liberal news network where you just have people that worked for, so back when I worked for Hugo Chavez, back when I worked for the Venezuelan state media, like,
me, incredible actually to witness a U.S. president acting like a statesman and sitting down with a powerful leader of another powerful country and supposedly acting in good faith. And I later interviewed the deputy foreign minister of Russia who was involved in those negotiations, and he told me that he acting in good faith. And I later interviewed the deputy foreign minister of Russia who.
Whenever there's a foreign department in a country like this, so when she says she interviewed the deputy foreign minister of Russia, what that means is they either reached out to her or RT set up a conversation between her and him so that they could go over talking points. By the way, that's what that means.
Who was involved in those negotiations, and he told me that they agreed on so much in Helsinki at that time that then just got complete.
So Tim Pool has worked with other fucking people who've, worked directly in Russian state media. Like, again, it seems incredibly unlikely to me that Tim Pool would be unaware that he is getting directly funded by the Kremlin. So, yeah, hopefully Tim Pool goes to fucking prison for some shit.
He said that we were shocked when a few months later Trump, withdrew from the INF treaty, went along with all the things that John Bolton wrote in his memoir he advised Trump to do. And it really does demonstrate that I do think Trump tried, but that the president is up against a lot more than we realize. And it's even more than Bolton and Pompeo and these characters.
Do you know the one time the media praised Donald Trump as presidential?
When?
Any guesses?
When I can't remember.
I feel like you had a guess.
It's just like, it's insane. In the private correspondence while working directly for RT pursuant to Founder One's written.
Tim Tool donated to lawyers. If Putin secretly called you and said, Mr. VG, I have secret info to tell you and I need you to keep it secret. You need to also be my right-hand man and my friend, and I'll wire you $5 million every year. Would you be his friend or say fuck him? I'd say fuck him. Putin's a fascist, genocidal piece of shit. I'm not accepting money from him, just like how I wouldn't accept money from Hitler. Thanks for the donation, Pim Tool.
Contract, Founder 1 and Founder 2 regularly refer to their sponsor, i.e. RT, as the Russians. For example, on or about May 12, 2021, Founder 2 messaged Founder 1 on Discord. So we're billing the Russians from the corporation, right? On or about May 22nd, 2021, Founder 1 messaged Founder 2 on Discord. Also, the Russians paid. So we're good to bill them for the second month, I guess. On or about June 2nd, 2021, Founder 1 messaged Founder 2 on Discord. Also, I say we bill the Russians for the last month once we're done the extra op-eds, referring to Founder 1's paid opinion articles for RT. And on or about January 5th, 2022, Founder 2 messaged an acquaintance on Discord about paid leave that the Russians had offered to Founder 1. I hope that this is like, I don't know if it counts as treason. I should look up what these things, like the actual meaning of like what counts as this, but if commentator 1 and 2 are betting a pool, they demand $5 million to spew the shit they do about Trump. Hold on. On or about February 8, 2023, Founder 1 reported Persona 1. When Founder 1's outreach commentator 1, commentator 2, Founder 1 advised that commentator 1 said it would need to be closer to $5 million yearly for him to be interested. And the commentator 2 said it would take $100K per weekly episode to make it worth his while. Founder 1 cautioned that from a profitability standpoint, it'd be very hard for a Viewpoint, i.e. the initial public-facing name of the new venture, to recoup the cost for the likes of commentator 1. Do we want to read these whole indictments? Link me again. We'll read them. Now we have to. 32 pages. Okay. Introduction. RT, formerly known as Russia Today. Do you feel that RT was trying to do weird shit with you? They just wanted me on. I think that.
What if Putin paid you $300K to run through you with his 98 hung black guy friends? No, that wouldn't be enough.
When Russia reaches out to people like me, the goal is to have me on as legitimizing figures for their platform. If I'm going on, I am going on to sincerely debate and argue with them, and they know that they're not going to be able to control me. But the goal of that is to be able to say, like, well, look, hold on, it's not propaganda. We have people like Destiny on. See, he argues and debates us. He argues with us and he debates us. So it's like, it's legit. I think that's the goal of having voices like me on those networks. That's why I kind of stopped. RT, formerly known as Russia Today, is a state-controlled media outlet funded and directed by the government of Russia. After Russia invaded Ukraine in February of 2022, RT was sanctioned, dropped by distributors, and ultimately forced to cease formal operations in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and the European Union. In response, RT created, in the words of its editor-in-chief, an entire empire of covert projects designed to shape public opinion in Western audiences. One of RT's covert projects, as described herein, is its funding and direction of a Tennessee-based online content creation company, US Company 1. Over at least the past year, RT and its employees, including Kostiantin Kalashnikov, isn't this the name of like the AK-47 thing, Kalashnikov?
Why are you scared of debating Jim Bob? I've already debated Jim Bob.
That's a real also person name? Damn. The defendants have deployed nearly $10 million laundered through a network of foreign shell entities to covertly fund and direct U.S. Company One. Jesus. Company One publishes English language videos on multiple social media channels, including TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube, using multiple fake personas, often edited, posted, and directed the posting of, or by U.S. Company One, of hundreds of videos. Many of the videos published by U.S. Company One contain commentary on events and issues in the United States, such as immigration, inflation, and other topics related to domestic and foreign policy. While the views expressed in the videos are not uniform, the subject matter and content of the videos are often consistent with the government of Russia's interest in amplifying U.S. domestic divisions in order to weaken U.S. opposition to core government of Russia interests, such as its ongoing war in Ukraine. Since publicly launching in or on about November 2023, U.S. Company One has posted nearly 2,000 videos that have garnered more than 60 million views on YouTube alone. U.S. Company One never disclosed to its viewers that it was funded and directed by RT, nor did the U.S. Company One or its two founders and principal executives, Founder One and Founder Two, register with the Attorney General as an agent of a foreign principal as required by law. Company One, we don't know yet. I'll figure it out as I read this. Kalashnikov, Afanasyev, Founder One and Founder Two also worked together to deceive two U.S. online commentators, Commentator One and Commentator Two, who respectively have over 2.4 million.
Debate him again. He wants a second debate. Then he can just message me.
0.3 million YouTube subscribers. Founder One and Founder Two contracted with Commentator One and Commentator Two to produce videos using Commentator One's and Commentator Two's own names and leveraging their existing audiences for license and publication by U.S. Company One. For license and publication by U.S. Company One, Founder One and Founder Two worked together to mask U.S. Company One's true source of funding, i.e. RT, by falsely portraying Commentator One and Two that U.S. Company One was sponsored by a private investor named Edward.
Hey, Poppy Mango, what's up, dude? I'm very hungry and tired today.
Gregorian. In truth, and in fact, Gregorian was a fictional persona. For example, during contract negotiations, Commentator One requested that Founder One provide a profile or article on Edward Gregorian. In response, Founder One sent Commentator One a one-page profile provided by Founder One by another fictional persona purporting to represent Edward Gregorian, falsely describing Edward Gregorian as an accomplished finance professional who had held various positions in Brussels and France at a multinational bank, Bank One, including Director of Private Banking Division and Wealth Management. After receiving the fictitious profile, Commentator One agreed to work with U.S. Company One and produced approximately 130 videos that were published on U.S. Company One's platform. God damn. Remember how we said there were pages that like get made that are like fake publication pages to say, oh, this guy is he worked for this and did this and blah blah blah, and these pages are just fake. There's like people pay to make these pages. It's not actually real at all. Yeah. So these guys are Russian agents. We know who they are. They're redacted. We'll figure it out as we go through. It's also been figured out publicly a lot too, but we'll try to piece together it on our own, and then we will and then we'll go and we'll check what everyone else has done. Created over 130 videos.
Yeah, I've eaten grits before. They're not great. It's just corn.
For Company One's platform. Background on Russian influence operations. RT is a Russian, state-funded and state-directed media outlet, and as RT's editor-in-chief is publicly acknowledged, since RT receives budget from the state, it must complete tasks given by the state. For nearly 2 decades, RT has promoted the objectives of the government of Russia by publishing disinformation and propaganda, leveraging its international network to amplify the government of Russia's message to foreign audiences, and using its guise as a conventional media outlet to lend credibility to that message. RT's propaganda is most obvious when it reports on matters of importance to the government of Russia, such as public opinion about Ukraine and the United States. When direct propaganda is not effective, however, RT has pursued malign influence campaigns in countries opposed to its policies, including the United States, in an effort to sow domestic divisions and thereby weaken opposition to government of Russia objectives. For example, in discussing RT's coverage of the United Kingdom's exit from the European Union in 2016, an RT journalist recalled to an academic researcher, I asked my editor, what is RT's line for this Brexit? And he said, anything that causes chaos is RT's line. In or about March 2022, following Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022, the European Union, the UK, and Canada banned broadcasting by RT. That same month, RT also ceased its operations in the United States after major television distributors dropped the network. But as RT itself has boasted, despite its post-March 2022 bans on broadcasting and lack of formal distribution channels in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and the European Union, the government of Russia continues to use RT to direct disinformation propaganda at Western audiences. For example, on or about February 25th, 2024, RT's editor-in-chief declared during a Russian television appearance that public opinion in the West is changing very rapidly and very cheerfully, due in part to RT. RT's editor-in-chief further explained that despite being banished everywhere on February 25th, referring to the state of Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, RT had built an enormous network, an entire empire of covert projects that is working with the public opinion, bringing truth to Western audiences. As set forth below, U.S. Company One is one of RT's covert projects in the United States. The defendant is a citizen of Russia and an employee of RT. Kalashnikov has identified himself as the deputy chief of the Digital Media Projects Department for RT, is a member of an internal RT email distribution list reserved for leaders at RT, and manages multiple RT covert distribution channels in the United States, including U.S. Company One. As set forth below, Founder One introduced Kalashnikov to U.S. Company One's employees and affiliates as a purported outside editor, and Kalashnikov edited U.S. Company One content without disclosing that he was working for RT. So it seems like Founder One and Founder Two, I think, are in on it, but Commentator One and Commentator Two are probably not in on it. I think, if I read this correctly, let me check. Kalashnikov also participated in an internal U.S. Company One messaging group comprised solely of Kalashnikov, Founder One, Founder Two, and an individual purporting to act as a representative of U.S. Company One's investor, Edward Gregorian, but who was in fact a fake persona, Persona One, as described below. But who was in fact a fake persona, as described below, and that messaging group Kalashnikov monitored discussions of, among other things, U.S. Company One's funding, hiring, and contract negotiations with Commentator One and Commentator Two. Lena, aka Lena, the defendant, is a citizen of Russia and an employee of RT. She's identified herself on social media as a producer at RT dealing with overseas affairs and news. As set forth below, Kloshnikov introduced Lena to US Company One staff and contributors as a member of Kloshnikov's editing team, and Afanasieva collected information from and gave direction to US Company One personnel on behalf of RT in that covert capacity. Lena utilized multiple fake personas at US Company One, including Helena Shudra and Victoria Pesty. Founder 1 and Founder 2 are foreign nationals who reside in the United States. Founder 1 and Founder 2 jointly control and operate US Company 1. Foreign nationals. When you're a foreign national, that means that you have citizenship in another country, not just we're born somewhere else but have citizenship there, or Founder 1 and Founder 2 jointly control and operate US Company 1, and they're the only authorized signatories for US Company 1's business checking account, the US Company 1 bank account, which is held at a bank in the United States for operating US Company 1 for RT as set forth below. Founder 1 and Founder 2 work directly for RT and its affiliates, including as follows. From in or about March 2021 to in or about February 2022, Founder 1 created videos, posted social media content, and wrote articles pursuant to a written contract between Founder 1's Canadian Company 1, and RT's parent organization, Anno TV Novosti. Wait, what is this? Oh, I know what this is already. The bio.
Oh, yep. Lauren Chen is going to jail. She's getting locked up, dude. It's pretty clear from the transcripts that she knowingly and willingly cooperated with the Russian government, basically. And she also broke a number of laws in the United States. So she's going away. It's fucking hilarious, dude. Like, this dumb bitch I debated a few years ago on veganism is gonna be going to prison for what seems like a fair while, for basically betraying her country and supporting the Russian regime.
Labs and everything in Russia and the Nazi presence there is like, it's every single, they're in lockstep. Like, so much so that, like, if they were taking, like, if somebody were to tell me that it's a conspiracy and they're all getting orders, I would say bullshit, because if Russia was leading this conspiracy, the orders wouldn't be so consistent. You would very.
Beg donate $2. Did you already react to this? Who the fuck is Brianna Wu? American video game developer. I don't even know who the fuck that is. Play this game, by the way. It has the best music. I am not going to play that game, but thanks for the donation, dude.
Hey everybody, this is Brianna Wu. This is a video that I put off making for a really long time, but I need to do some things in my career, and that means being open with you all about some things I've kind of carefully talked around for the last 20 years. So here's the plan. I'm going to go over some really dark, traumatic stuff with you. I'm drowning all the time.
POV, you just neutered your cat's balls off, and now he's rocking that sweet angelic voice.
爱的会像有期待，天会晴，阳光在手指间，不能给我的亲吻真给。我说我忘了，不痛了，太爱，笑了，为你也值得。若把你
That's a nice cat.
I was looking for a job and then I found a job.
Oh my god.
And heaven knows I'm miserable now. I was looking.
That is also a nice cat. Thanks for the donation, Avidator. I don't give a shit who this is, whether or not she's trans. Couldn't give a fuck about her, so I'm not watching that. Random What the fucks donated $2. Did you know this happens? Well, yeah, that's India. Yeah, that's just India. Those are dogs. And yeah, people do that to hyenas. Okay, thanks for the donation, random. What the fucks?
The talking points from person to person. Everybody would be literally lockstep in this. It'd be like cheating on another guy's test and getting an A+ and copying every single answer. You make some wrong. Some potentially, you want to obviously copy your answers, right? So carrying aware. Last time the Russian stuff was kind of like in the background, it's like always something you should be aware of. So now it's like at the forefront of my mind with almost every single interaction I'm looking at with people. I feel like people are lockstep with pro-Russian talking points ubiquitously across the entirety of the conservative and center mainstream and alternative media sphere. Like, I don't know if it could be any more lockstep.
Abort donated $2, 121.
G'day everybody and welcome to Pints with Aquinas. I want to give you a heads up about today's episode with an ex-abortionist. We get into some really troubling topics and sometimes something of a confrontational question for you, and I don't mean any disrespect, but it seems to me that abortionists should be imprisoned. If the laws were changed and that happened, have you ever thought about yourself going to prison?
Yes, absolutely. The way that I've approached that idea.
DOJ likely passing Chen off to Canada seems.
Alright, I'll take a look at that in a second. Thanks for the donation, retard.
Is that putting, how do I say this? Abortion is legal in this country. It's an abomination, but it is legal.
Mm-hmm.
And I can have a conversation with them about the legality and the ethics.
I don't fucking care, dude. Whatever. Like, what do you want me to say? It's stupid fucking religious tards fucking talking about how blah blah blah. Statement by the Minister of Public Safety, Democratic Institutions. Intergovernment. Finn, what the? You're just going down. You're so annoying. Regarding Russian influence operations. Command the United States, recent decisive actions, Russian influence, condemn strongest terms. Canada's been working close cooperation. While we're unable to comment on ongoing assembling democratic societies, any Canadians who illegally assist in Russia's persistent attempts to use disinformation, criminal and covert activities, corruption, face full force of Canadian law. Yeah, it sounds like the Canadian government is going to end up prosecuting her. What a fucking idiot, dude. Well, I guess the money she made wasn't really worth it, was it? Thanks for the donation, retard.
really makes you think. It's a written contract, an RT's parent organization. This content generally consists of English language, social commentary, RT. I wonder if Founder One, who we'll find out, we'll name. I wonder if they ever made this public information. Do people know this? I wonder if, we'll find out. RT directly published some of Founder One's paid work, while Founder One posted other of Founder One's paid work on Founder One's personal accounts without attribution to RT. Ooh, guess not. So Founder One's paid work. Okay. For example, Founder One's invoices reflect that Founder One built NRTV Novosti for approximately 217 videos, of which approximately 209 were published on Founder One's personal YouTube channel. Founder One also wrote approximately, imagine invoicing for your government propaganda. Oh no. Founder One also wrote approximately 25 opinion articles that were published on RT's website, at least 19 of which Founder One billed to Anno TV Novosti. None of Founder One's articles disclosed that Founder One was paid by RT to write for them. To create content for RT pursuant to Founder One's written contract, Founder One worked with Founder Two and two individual producers who later joined US Company One. RT invited Founder One to appear on RT television programming, created a dedicated page on RT's website identifying Founder One as a contributor, and featuring Founder One's articles, and provided an official letter on RT letterhead designating Founder One and Founder Two as essential workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. In private correspondence, however, Founder One and Founder Two recognized that truthfully disclosing their affiliation with RT made it more difficult for them to do business in the United States. For example, in a July 2021 email inviting a contact to apply for a job with RT, Founder One wrote that RT's budget is going to be larger, but acknowledged, I know being Russian, some folks in the US aren't too hot on them, LOL. As another example, in a private exchange on the messaging platform Discord in February 2022, Producer One told Founder Two that when I was asking people if they wanted to interview, many said yes until I said it was with RT, so I switched to saying I was just working for Founder One. Founder Two replied, haha, not surprised. Yikes. In their private correspondence while working directly for RT pursuant to Founder One's written contract, Rush overlink stories, think already reviewing. Oh, yeah. Founder One and Founder Two regularly refer to their sponsor, IRT, as the Russians. For example, on or about May 12, 2021, Founder Two messaged Founder One on Discord, so we're billing the Russians from this corporation, right? On or about May 22, or May 22nd, 2021, Founder One messaged Founder Two on Discord. Also, the Russians paid, so we're going to bill them for the second month, I guess. On or about June 2nd, 2021, Founder One messaged Founder Two on Discord. Also, I say we bill the Russians for the last month since we're done the extra op-eds, referring to Founder One's paid opinion articles for RT. And on or about January 5th, 2022, Founder Two messaged an acquaintance on Discord about paid leave that the Russians had offered to Founder One. How they get their Discord logs, this is good redact advert. I mean, Discord, I imagine you can subpoena Discord, or you could have another person who was in the conversation hand over things. I don't know if deleting your messages from Discord also deletes it from Discord servers, though. They might hold on to that information for some period of time, maybe a month or whatever. I don't know what the GDPR limit restrictions are or whatever. From in or about October 2021 to in or about May 2022, separate and apart from Founder One's contract with RT's parent organization, Anno TV Novosti, Founder Two also worked directly for RT, and with Rupli Jimidwich, RT's German subsidiary. Founder Two's paid work for RT included, among other things, preparing English language text messages describing news events. During this time, Founder Two and Kalashnikov appear to have had overlapping business contacts. On or about May 18th, a Rupli Jimidwich employee sent a Russian language email to 6 recipients, including Founder Two and Kalashnikov, requesting that they send their work email addresses to gain account access to Rupli's website. Let's see. Okay. U.S. Company One is a United States corporation established under the laws of Tennessee. Founder One has described U.S. Company One as the U.S. subsidiary of Founder One's Canadian company. It's a Canadian company, Canadian Company One. As set forth above, from in or about March 2021 to in or about February 2022, Founder One used Canadian Company One to produce content for RT pursuant to a written contract. Founder One incorporated U.S. Company One on or about January 19, 2022 and applied to the Tennessee Department of State to transact business under its current operating name, which Company One uses on its website and social media channels. On or about May 22nd, 2023, on its website, U.S. Company One describes itself as a network of heterodox commentators that focus on Western political and cultural issues and identifies 6 commentators, including Commentator 1 and 2, as its talent. U.S. Company One regularly posts videos featuring these commentators, as well as other videos that do not feature the commentators, across an array of social media channels, including YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Rumble. To support the production and publication of its videos, U.S. Company One employs 3 staff producers, Producer 1, 2, and a third individual, Producer 3, and a reported outside editing firm staffed by, among others, Kalashnikov and Afanasyev. The Foreign Agents Registration Act is a registration and disclosure statute that requires any person acting or agreeing to act in the United States as an agent of a foreign principal or registered with the Attorney General if he or she is engaging or agreeing to engage directly or through another person in certain types of conduct for or in the interest of the foreign principal. Conduct requiring registration under FAR includes, as is relevant here, political activities such as a publicity agent or information service employee, and dispersing money for or in the interest of the foreign principal. FAR registrations are made to the Foreign Agents Registration Act unit of the Department of Justice's National Security Division. It is a crime to willfully fail to register when required under FAR. The purpose of FAR is to prevent covert influence by foreign principals, which include foreign governments, companies, and persons located outside the United States. Proper registration under FAR allows the U.S. government and public and private audiences to evaluate the statements and activities of individuals who are serving as agents of foreign principals in light of their status as foreign agents. Remember when I said everybody should disclose their income sources? Remember when I said that? True. Hi. Among other things, FAR registration reveals the identity of the foreign principal on whose behalf the registrant performs services, the types of services the registrant provides the foreign principal, and the source and amount of compensation the registrant receives from the foreign principal. FAR registration statements are publicly accessible on the website of the FAR unit. In addition, FAR registrants are required to label informational materials transmitted within the United States with a conspicuous statement disclosing that the materials are distributed by the agent on behalf of the foreign principal. Makes sense. RT's covert operations through U.S. Company One. In or about December 2022, Founder One began working with an individual operating under the fictitious name Edward Gregorian. and 3 purported representatives of Edward Gregorian, Persona 1, and 2 additional purported representatives, Persona 2 and Persona 3, to launch a new YouTube channel, initially under the name Viewpoint Productions. On or about January 10th, 2023, Persona 2 told Founder 1 that Founder 1's first task was to find a personality that could serve as the face of the channel, and that for the right candidate, we're willing to pay around $1 to $2 million per year. Damn. Serious, we were approached by a government to push some sort of propaganda. I have never... I would say that like Russian stuff is the closest, but it's usually just for appearances on RT. It's never been for other offers that I am aware of that have not been made to me ever personally. On or about January 13th, 2023, Persona 2 sent Founder 1 a proposed contract for Founder 1's influencer talent scouting services, which Founder 1 listed as the agent and a Hungarian entity. Listed as the client, Hungarian Shell 81 is no publicly available website. In exchange for Founder 1 services, the proposed contract awarded Founder 1 $8,000 per month plus percentage of any deals that Founder 1 closed with influencers. Over the next several months, while Founder 1 continued to negotiate Founder 1's contract, Founder 1 accepted interim payments and began to scout for influencers for the new YouTube channel for Edward Gregorian.
Cat Dad donated $2. Let me see. Oh. Dog wants the ball, but cat wants the ball too. Oh, dog want ball. That's cute. Thanks for the donation, Cat Dad.
Wait, do we all... Okay, hold on. Now I think I'm going to start labeling some of these things. What are we thinking Company 1 is? Has that been like publicly stated yet? Okay. It's probably this, right? The Tenet Media stuff? That's my guess? Oh. Is a network of heterodox commentators that focus on Western political and cultural issues. Okay. So Company 1 is Tenet Media, right? A new DOJ indictment alleges that RT employees covertly funded and directed a U.S. company with $10 million in order to push pro-Russian content. The company is based in Tennessee. There is one media company based in Tennessee with the same phrase listed on the indictment. Roaming USA Corp. Formed in Tennessee. Is this supposed to show the... Oh, Tenet Media. Initial filing date, January 19th, 2022. Oh, Roaming Millennial Incorporated. God, I feel so f***ing vindicated. Who is she? Lauren Chen? One of the crazy conservative dipshits who's done all the... I'm pretty sure I must have done video reviews of her shit even somewhat recently.
I mean,
She's this person. She's one of the Laurens. Lauren Eastern. Remember? Did she cover me? I think, did she talk about me over the Trump assassination shit? I don't remember. Joe Rogan spares no one. Slams Destiny in the latest podcast. So that was 4 months ago. Candace Owens calls out degeneracy with Destiny.
I would vote for Trump.
I am fighting the Russians, and I'm proud to do it. Hell yeah. Hell yes. But I also helped her channel.
Single dollar we send them
So I am simultaneously a Russian agent as well. Oh no. RIP. So the two people involved are the Ruben Report and Tim Pool. These would be founder. No, these would be commentator 1 and commentator 2. You've spoken to Benny Johnson before? Yep, on Piers, I think. Benny Johnson also has almost 2.4 million, but they apparently rounded down from 1.37 million. 1.3 with Tim Pool, so we get Ruben's 2.5 million. Oh, it's the same. So wait, so could it have been Benny Johnson possibly as well? About February 2023, Founder 1 solicited Commentator 1 and Commentator 2 to perform work on behalf of Edward Gregorian. For example, on or about February 6, 2023, Persona 1 emailed Founder 1 a short list of candidates for the YouTube channel, including Commentator 1 and Commentator 2. In the same email, Persona 1 attached a receipt for an $8,000 money transfer from an entity in the Czech Republic to Founder 1's Canadian company. Canadian Company 1. So Lauren Chen is the one scouting talent. Persona 1 requested that Founder 1 submit an invoice for Founder 1's consultation services to Czech Shell Entity 1, which Persona 1 described as our Czech sister company. Czech Shell Entity 1 has a website purporting to sell automobile parts, but also listing unrelated services such as cyber armor suite, fortifying your digital defenses. The website makes no mention of Edward Gregorian, any of the personas, or the Hungarian Shell Entity. On or about February 6, 2023, Founder 1 responded to Persona 2. Founder 1 had let Founder 2, who I work with and who handles finances, know to get an invoice done. Founder 2 subsequently prepared an invoice from Canadian Company 1 to Czech Shell Entity 1, which Founder 2 transmitted to Founder 1, which Founder 1 then emailed Persona 1. So Founder 1 and 2 are Lauren Chen and her husband. Do you think crimes like this should be given the severest penalty? Yes, absolutely. It should, like almost certainly prison time, probably huge, like every bit of money that you made should be paid back as restitution to the country. Absolutely. Yeah. Should probably lose your kid, whatever the fuck that entails. Like, yeah, you should be obliterated for this. You're like, this is like almost the equivalent of like being a spy. This is horrible. It's like atrocious, right? Like it just sucks because everything, again, like conservatives have no standard for behavior and no standard for expectations. Like you just expect them to be like terrorists. Like that's the expectation, is that they're terrorists. You should come down on this in the harshest, most, fiercest way possible. Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. And you're fucking with your own country by doing it, by the way, right? Like there's a world where, and maybe not because Canada and US are obviously really close, but there's a world where this hurts Canadian-American relationships as well, right? Like imagine you're the United States of America and it's like, why the f are you guys sending your Canadian to live down here and they're doing propaganda for Russia? What's wrong with you, right? Like there's like, yeah, this is insane. Tim just released a statement on Twitter. These are the bad hombres. Yeah, these are the bad hombres. Looks like the criminal immigrants who are coming from the north. My statement regarding allegations of the leaked DOJ indictment. Should these allegations prove true, I as well as the other personnel and commentators were deceived and are victims. You disgusting piece of shit. I cannot speak for anyone else at the company as to what they do or what they are instructed. The Culture War podcast was licensed by Tenet Media. It existed well before any license agreement with Tenet, and it will continue to exist after any such agreement expires. The only change with the agreement was that the location of the live broadcast moved to Tenet's YouTube channel. Oh, I didn't know they live streamed it on that channel. They have never at any point did anyone other than I have full editorial control of the show, and the contents of the show are often apolitical. Examples include discussing spirituality, dating, and video games. The show is produced in its entirety by our local team without input from anyone external to the company. TCW is a separate company not associated with Timcast or any other properties. It exists solely for the production of the Culture War podcast. Good one. That being said, we still do not know what is true, as these are only allegations. Putin is a scumbag, Russia sucks donkey balls, and to the journalists who wish to jump the gun, create their own narrative, or lie about what is currently going on, you can eat my Irish ass. Good one. Irish? I thought doesn't he say all the time he's Asian? I thought that was his big. Here's one of my favorite episodes. Oh my god! And he tries to cope by linking an anti-Trump title. He's actually such a f***ing coward. God, he's such a f***ing baby. Does the fact that the DOJ put this stuff into an indictment mean it's like almost definitely true? Yeah, absolutely. If there's a federal indictment, of course. The only thing that could be like untrue is if there might be context that changes how we view the facts. So like if they were like, oh, let's role play like working for Russians or something, like that would be ridiculous. But like something like that, yeah. This is probably what Lauren and her husband, I guess. With respect to Commentator 2, Founder 1 cautioned that a contract would likely cost. With respect to Commentator 2, Commentator 1. And Commentator 2 based on ad revenue from web traffic or sponsors alone. Despite Founder 1's warning that Commentator 1 and Commentator 2 would not be profitable to employ, on or about February 14, 2023, Persona 1 informed Founder 1 that we would love to move forward with Commentator 1 and 2. Damn. So did he do? Was it the $5 million a year?
I am really fucking exhausted right now, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to end the stream right now, but I'll probably be on later. Like maybe around 10, and we'll just play Space Marine 2. But I just can't fucking stream right now. Just not having a good fucking day. So I'm just gonna take a nappy nap, and then we'll play Space Marine 2 later. Alright, I'll see you guys in a few hours. But thanks for everybody who donated. Appreciate it. I'll be on later.